Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Andrew. How are you, sir? Excellent. Thank you. You too.
Hi, Andrew. How are you? I did, thank you. Everything is
Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It's Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday tonight. Follow the Blue Jays on Twitter at twitter.com/Blue Jays. Answer Blue Jays trivia to win prizes. You can submit your questions on Twitter to @BlueJays, and Pat Tabler or I will choose your question and we'll award an answer and a winner later on. Tonight's hashtag of the game is Vote Jose. So let's take a look at the Orioles lineup. But Showalter's Orioles in town for the first of 3 games. J.J. Hardy, Nick Markakis, Adam Jones top the order. The veteran Vladimir Guerrero, who always gives the Blue Jays trouble hitting cleanup in the DH spot. Matt Wieters, a switch hitting catcher, off to a great start. Derek Lee just off bereavement list. He is back at first base. Luke Scott, Mark Reynolds, and Robert Andino round out the lineup for the Orioles, and they will take on Carlos Villanueva,
who extended his personal winning streak to 8 games during his last outing against the Kansas City Royals. Allowed 4 runs, 6 hits while pitching a season-high 7 innings. He also threw more than 100 pitches for the first time this season. Since joining the rotation back on May the 23rd, Carlos Villanueva is 3-0 in his 4 starts. Excellent numbers all the way around for Villanueva.
Villanueva set to start this ball game. J.J. Hardy will stand in. Hardy hitting out of the leadoff spot. First pitch of the ball game is a strike, looked like a changeup to start this ball game.
Hardy has been a very hot hitter, also taking over when Brian Roberts went on the disabled list out of that leadoff spot, hitting .375.
Ball and a strike. Villanueva has really done a good job, and when you look at his numbers as a starter, you say, well, he's been hit around a little bit, but that's to be expected. Making the transition, hitters get a little deeper look at him.
In the bullpen as a long man, you might go 1 time through the lineup, maybe 2 times through the lineup if you are lucky and very economical with your pitches. As a starter, you got to figure about 3 times through.
There's a slider, and Hardy checked his swing. Peeled down to Jerry Lane at first. He said no swing. So it's a 3-1 count. J.J. Hardy, a mini 6-game hit streak. He's hitting nearly 400 during that stretch. And now it's a 7-game hit streak. Rajai Davis over to cut it off. Hardy with a big turnaround first, and he'll stop there. Leadoff single to start the game.
While we have a second, let's take a look at the scouting report for Carlos Villanueva, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He throws strikes with 3 pitches: the fastball, curveball, and the changeup, back and forth. He's got to get the hitters going back and forth, looking for the fastball, then dropping in that changeup. And over his last couple of starts, Carlos has been starting to throw more fastballs. I think that'll really play into his off-speed stuff.
Nick Markakis, the right fielder, takes the first pitch, strike with the fastball. Unusual numbers for Markakis, hitting just .242. He's career .298 hitter. Off to a slow start. Nobody can really figure out why.
No production. His 26 RBIs, 6 of those coming in 1 game last week.
Had a real drought driving in runs. The previous 27 games, he had 6 RBIs in total, and he had a big breakout game. You see his numbers. Had a grand slam in that 6 RBI game.
Speaking of the grand slam, we have it lined up for you. This is his 3rd grand slam of his career, part of a career-high 6 RBI game against Jeremy Hellickson and the Tampa Bay Rays. Markakis, I think one of the better hitters in the American League, but so far has not been able to pull it off this year.
He's in a hole 1 and 2. Plays off the high fastball. Villanueva, as Pat mentioned, trying to throw a few more fastballs. He really relies an awful lot on his off-speed pitches because he can throw them all for strikes. He has fared well against the Orioles in just 2 games. But sometimes when you have the ability to command those secondary pitches, you fall in love with them, and it robs you of your fastball velocity and the command.
And the command of it. And you start throwing more breaking balls. You start throwing more change-ups. And hitters, you know, get around and they know that type of stuff. You start mixing in more fastballs, through 50 of them his last time out at Kansas City. Can really have an effect on the hitter.
Base hit up the middle. Hardy will make a big turn. He's going to challenge the arm of Davis, and he makes it into third. They've got Markakis hung up now between first and second. Escobar will toss it to Hill. They'll tag Markakis out. Hardy went first to third on the play. Looked like Hardy was going to stop at second. He decoyed Davis and then forced Rajai into a bad throw. But Markakis got caught turning around first and was out in the rundown.
You know, it's not automatic that if the ball goes to the base ahead of you that you can move up into scoring position. The throw goes all the way in, and you're right, offline. And Markakis thinks that's an invitation to get into scoring position, but it's not. It's cut off by Nix. And after a couple of rundown plays, they tag Nick Markakis out in between first and second.
So the infield will play it halfway with Adam Jones batting and Hardy at third, one out. Jones has been a productive hitter, 300 for the season with 35 RBI. But the Blue Jays have always given him trouble. He's not fared well against Toronto in his career.
Just a .251 hitter in his career.
Well, there's that good fastball. He throws it upstairs and gets Jones to chase.
You know, it's not a fastball that registers 95, 96 miles an hour, but when you can throw the curveball over for strikes, when you can go back and forth with the changeup like he can, that fastball was just 89 miles an hour, and he threw it right by him.
1-1, one out. Fly ball to deep center. Hardy is tagging up at third. Davis in front of the warning track will make the catch, and Hardy will tag and score. On the sac fly, the Orioles have scored in the first, a 1-0 score.
Playing behind Carlos Villanueva, this is the defense for the Blue Jays. Patterson, Davis, and Jose Bautista in the outfield. Nix, Escobar, Hill, Lynn, third to first around the infield. Tonight's battery, Villanueva and JP Aricibia. Adam Lynn back out there again. He played back-to-back games over the weekend at first base.
At the age, Vladdy Guerrero takes the first pitch strike. Lynn has played well at first base. Just trying to ease him back into the everyday role since coming off the disabled list. With that first inning run, the Orioles have now scored in 6 of their last 8 games in the first inning. Sets a pretty good tone for their pitchers.
Jump out ahead like that, especially on the road like this, maybe eases the pitcher into it a little bit better.
Guerrero with the third hit of the inning. Stayed on a breaking ball and rips it into right.
Well, he has been doing that for years and years against the Blue Jays. He came into this game with a .459 career average versus Toronto. That time, that was a typical Vladimir Guerrero hit. Stay on a pitch, a good pitch, down and away, and hit it in the right field hard.
He's been doing it for years. He's a career 300 hitter. Came up with the Montreal Expos. Enjoyed so many great seasons in Montreal as an outfielder and a terrific defender early in his career. Now Matt Waiters, the switch-hitting catcher. Waiters just turned 25 years old. This is his 3rd season with the Orioles. Waiters gets jammed with that inside fastball. Since falling behind here in the first, the Blue Jays now have extended their streak of not having a lead since the 3rd inning last Wednesday at Kansas City. They have continually fallen behind. Of course, over the weekend, the Red Sox seemed like they hit everything that came to the plate.
You know, and just like you were talking about the Orioles jumping ahead and putting a little bit pressure on the opposition and making things a little bit easier on their pitcher, falling behind can make it tough on the batters. Put a little bit more pressure on the offense to try and score runs.
First inning, the Orioles have taken a 1-0 lead. A ball and 2 strikes on the catcher, Matt Wieters. Guerrero's taking off for second. Wieters pops it foul out of play. Well, Guerrero had a walking lead, and he was halfway to second before Villanueva unloaded the ball.
He was caught right in the middle, Villanueva. Not a bad time for Guerrero to time Villanueva. Watch him, 1,001, 1,002, and he takes off. You can see from that replay, Villanueva hadn't delivered the ball, and he was halfway to second.
Raiders had to protect the strike zone with 2 strikes. It'll be another 1-2 pitch. Two of the better catching run producers in the American League here in this game tonight. Matt Wieters with 28 RBI. J.P. Aronsebi with 34. Aronsebi certainly has been productive with the bat, as has Wieters.
Wieters 5 home runs and J.P. with 10. Both of them very high draft picks.
Escobar will take it to the bag and get the force out, but the Orioles score a run on 3 hits, a sac fly off the bat of Adam Jones. 1-0 Baltimore. Trying to turn things around here tonight. They've already fallen behind the Orioles 1-0. Top of the order, Escobar, Patterson, Bautista. Lynn hitting .327 in the cleanup spot. Aronsebi, Encarnacion, and Aaron Hill. Rajai Davis in center, and Jason Nix at third will round out the lineup.
That will be the lineup that Chris Jacobowskis faces after making 5 relief appearances to start the season. Jacobowskis was called upon to start on June the 7th against Oakland. He made the most of the opportunity. He recorded a win, allowing 3 hits in 5 innings pitched. There are his numbers in just 6 games this year. 7 walks, 12 strikeouts for the big right-hander. He came in against the Blue Jays in relief of Zach Britton the last time the Blue Jays saw the Orioles down in Camden Yards.
Interesting story, Jacobowskis, who we'll talk about as the game goes on. Former first baseman at University of Oklahoma, made a transition to pitcher. Here he's making his 2nd start of the season. First pitch strike to Yunel Escobar. Been a tough stretch for Escobar. Once he came out of that game in Kansas City with that quad muscle injury, hasn't been able to get his stroke back. Just 2 for 24.
Swing's getting a little bit long. He's really tucking his front shoulder than what we are used to seeing. You can see his whole name and number on the back of his jersey, and that will make your swing very long.
Escobar with a count in his favor, 3 balls and a strike. Big bouncing ball to third. Reynolds has it. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Chris Jakubowskis, the big right-hander. Fastball, curveball mix. That's basically what you're going to do, but he's got a developing changeup. That has been the key to his pitching. He found a good changeup a couple of years ago, and now he has developed that third pitch, and here it is. He's going to work very quickly. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to make you hit your way on there.
There's a first pitch strike to Corey Patterson. Right back to Jakubowskis, and he hauls it in and retires Corey Patterson. Jakubowskis got knocked out of the game last start. Basically, he got hit in the shin on a comebacker, and last year he got hit in the head by a line drive off the bat of Lance Berkman, and you can see he's a little bit shaken by this.
Yeah, not gun shy, just shaking a little bit as that ball comes off that AstroTurf very quickly, and that's why you see the reaction that he had. Spent a lot of time on the DL last year after that ball off the bat of Berkman. Watch how quickly this ball gets back to him on the one hop, covers up, and makes the play.
Yeah, he suffered a concussion last year in late April when he was hit on that right side of his head by a line drive off the bat of Lance Berkman. So you can understand how he would be a little bit shaken. Here he falls behind Bautista.
You know, no tricks when he is out there. He's going to get it. Not going to mess around in between pitches. He's going to get his sign and then go right back to home plate.
Average has been good for Jose Bautista over his last 18 games. Just 2 home runs. Still getting on base, 17 walks, and here he'll take another walk. A 2-out walk. It's been remarkable how Jose Bautista has been able to maintain his composure at the plate. Rarely getting too many good pitches to hit early in a ball game, but he'll patiently take the walks.
And he will stay within himself. He has now reached base 56 times in his 59 games this year. Take what they give you.
First baseman Adam Lim with Bautista at first. One thing you like about Jakubowskis is he's going to work quickly. His reliever background suggests that the sooner he can get a resolution to an at-bat, the better off he is.
Yeah, that's why we said in that scouting report, here it is. He's not going to mess around. He's going to make you hit your way on. So if you're the Blue Jay batters, be ready to swing it as soon as you get in there.
.429 average over his last 8 games. He's 3 for 10 on this homestand. Had a great series against Baltimore last time these two teams met on the series finale on Sunday, June 5th. He went 4 for 4, hit 2 home runs in that game. It was his 6th multi-home run game. That all started with a great at bat. First time up, he went down and away. Got a pitch with 2 strikes and rifled it into left field, and that set him up for the rest of the ball game.
Yeah, when he is still at the plate like he is now, and he keeps that front shoulder in there, his swing is so smooth, and the ball just jumps off of his bat.
Went after a high fastball. It's 2-2.
Plate coverage is so important for good hitters, and I think Lynn's a good hitter. He comes into this game at .327, but he's got plate coverage. You try and throw him down and away, and he can hit it down the left field line. Try to sneak one by him on the inner half, and he can turn on it. Got a hole to shoot through on the right side with Bautista on first base.
Now give him that third base line as Reynolds is way off the line, covering up the 5-6 hole. Making ball downstairs. Full count, 2 outs. Derek Lee gets Jakubowskis' attention, and he backs up behind Jose Bautista. So Bautista will be off on the pitch. Orioles lead it 1-0. Driven to right. Line drive off the wall. Bautista hustling around third. He's getting the wave. Now he gets stopped. Runs through the stop sign. The throw is offline, and Bautista is safe. Nick Markakis with the relay throw. The relay from Andino was offline. Bautista slid around Matt Wieters, who had to go up the line to make the catch. Well, it's tied at 1.
First of all, the Lind hit. He is able to pull the ball on the inner half. Looked like they wanted to go inside, and we said he can handle any kind of pitch. This one in, and he rips it. Throw up the line. The Orioles do an interesting way of fielding their cutoffs and relays down the right field line. They'll use the first baseman. And when the throw from Markakis went over the head of the second baseman Andino to the first baseman, Derek Lee, the throw was offline.
J.P. Arancibia with Lind at second, drives it to right. Markakis is there and makes the catch, but the Blue Jays tie it up. A 2-out walk and a 2-out RBI double by Adam Lind. It's tied at 1 after 1 here at Rogers Center. Tweeting Tuesday trivia. Who was the Blue Jays franchise home run leader in the 1970s? Obviously, the Blue Jays came into existence in 1977. That was their first season as the expansion club. A lot of great names played early on in that era, so jump on Twitter. Send us your answer. Who was the franchise home run leader in the 70s? Derek Lee drives it to right. Bautista backs up. Ball's carrying right onto the warning truck, but he's got room and makes the catch.
Well, you only have 3 years to figure that one out, right? So it's not like you have 10. We can have a good guess.
You got a good guess?
I think, but not now.
Okay.
Not now.
A lot of great names, and obviously all the old franchise expansion draft players and first-year players there. A lot of great names in the history of the Blue Jays.
I think it's going to fit in very nicely for our 70s night.
70s night coming up tomorrow night. Luke Scott playing in left field tonight. Shows bunt, takes a strike. He shows bunt because of that Blue Jays shift. Escobar is near the bag. A second. Nix is on the second base side of the infield.
If he lays a bunt down, Carlos Villanueva, you have it.
Now it's 0-2. All bets are off for Luke Scott. Been a struggle for Luke. He's been dealing with a torn labrum in his right shoulder, and that's really tough for a left-handed bat. That's the lead shoulder where you develop all your strength. He's just recently received a cortisone shot, so he's starting to feel a little better. 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. Big hop for Nix. 2 down here in the second. Villanueva is not the type of guy that would really catch your attention if you were going to spring training and watch a bunch of guys pitch. You'd have to see him pitch 5 or 6 times before you really appreciate what he can do.
We got a first-hand glimpse of that early in the season when some of the starters were knocked out early. They could only go 3 innings, maybe 4 innings, and John Farrell brought him in out of the bullpen.
Oh, what a quick inning for Villanueva. A bounce back second. Just 5 pitches to go 1, 2, 3 in the second. Villanueva handles the Orioles quickly. Big news around Rogers Center. Kyle Drabek was sent back to the minor leagues. His last start came against the Red Sox, and he was roughed up. He gave up a home run to Adrian Gonzalez in the first. Kevin Youkilis, a couple of hits. Frustrating day for Drabek again, and he's 2-5 over his last 9 starts. And the Blue Jays felt that this was the time to send him back to the minor leagues. Why was this appropriate now?
Well, right now things were falling apart for Kyle Drabek, and he was talking about his confidence that I couldn't remember the last time I had a great outing or even a good outing, so they felt his confidence was in question. They want to send him down to the minor leagues and start working on some of the things to get some type of success. That ball is caught by Markakis. Now, the one thing that they really made clear about that whole thing that they did was this isn't a failure. This is just a process in the development of a young pitcher. I was talking to John Farrell over the weekend, and he was saying the thing when he was with the Boston Red Sox. John Lester had to go down 2 or 3 times. Clay Buchholz went up and down 3 different times. It's just a process in the development of a young player. So don't read too much into it. There is nothing wrong with Kyle Drabek's stuff.
No. It's a matter of developing a major league pitcher. And obviously he is not to that standard yet. 14 starts. He's had a record of 4-5. Big concern was the frustration was starting to creep into his outings. And I think that's what was the real red flag for John Farrell. He and Alex Anthopoulos met yesterday, discussed the options. Aaron Hill hits one to right field. Markakis with a long run. Ball carrying away from him. That's a fair ball. And it will bounce out of play as it's touched by a fan, and Hill will end up with a ground rule double. 3 balls in a row hit to right field, and that one kept going away from Markakis. He just couldn't close ground. It hit in fair territory and bounced out of play.
Aaron Hill's hit some balls hard, didn't have much to show for it this time. Placed perfectly down the right field line. Markakis is an excellent outfielder, but it just glances off his glove, stays fair, kicks into the seats for a ground rule double. Hill's 12th of the year.
Rajay Davis now, as Hill bounced off of second. He had a great jump, and Jakubauskas stopped him.
Aaron is 8 for 8 this year in stolen bases, so not a bad time to keep the pressure on the defense.
First pitch strike. Davis hitting .249. He's had streaks where it looked like he could hit everything, and then different streaks where he couldn't hit a thing. If he stays on that ball on the outer half, he's got a chance to do some damage.
And pitchers are staying out there with breaking balls down and away. All you have to do is watch the front foot of Rajai Davis, how he steps towards the third baseman. And what that does is that opens up that front shoulder a hair too early. I think pitchers have seen that, and they're working him away.
Ball on the strike. Breaking ball that stayed inside and just pulled foul.
And that's really one of the pitches that you can handle, that spinning breaking ball on the inner half or a fastball inside. It's all about plate coverage, being able to handle those types of pitches.
Strike three call. A delayed call by Brian Knight. The fastball on the inside corner at the knees. First strikeout of the night.
If you are thinking about breaking ball away with 2 strikes, they can throw a fastball. That one looked like it might have been low. Rajai doesn't believe that he called it, but it'll go as his first strikeout.
2 outs now for the number 9 hitter, Jason Nix. See Davis checking with Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coach, just to see whether or not that ball was high enough. All blocked by Wieters. One ball game, bottom of the second inning. Fastball pulled to the shortstop. J.J. Hardy with good hands and a strong arm, and Nix is retired. Blue Jays get a double off Chris Jakubowski, but they leave him at second. It's 1-1 at the end of 2. Was sent back to the minor leagues. He'll report to AAA Las Vegas. His last 9 starts, it's been rough. Just 2-5, the ERA, closing in on 8 walks and hits per innings pitched. He was dealing with too many base runners, pitching out of the stretch, and really had no chance for much success. And it's all about consistency. And what are the goals for Drabek as they send him back to the minor leagues now? What does he need to do to take the next step?
I think command of his fastball. All good pitchers have that command where they want to be able to throw that pitch on the outer half or the inner half, wherever they want to do it. I think it all starts with the command of the fastball. Then I think, Kyle, it has to do with going down there with a good attitude. If you go down there with a bad attitude, you're not going to gain anything from it. He could go down there and just win on pure stuff, but I think he needs to learn to pitch and use different pitches. Maybe develop a sweeping type of breaking ball instead of the overhand hard curveball that he has.
I think one thing too is he needs to control his emotions, and yeah, he's 23 years old and he's only made 17 major league starts, and this is a process. You have to build a pitcher, and you can't just snap your fingers and one will appear. We saw that with Roy Halladay. He came up in 2000 and actually in his first start here at Rogers Center took a no-hitter into the 9th inning with 2 outs. Then he took a step backwards, had to go all the way back to A ball, and the end result's pretty good. Robert Andino lifts it to center field. Bautista's calling for it. Davis is over there, but Davis pulls off and Bautista makes the play.
You know, we're so quick to forget that Kyle never pitched above Double-A before this season. And the learning process as you go from rookie ball to A ball to Double-A to Triple-A, and then that big jump into the major leagues, there's always something to learn. And when you take a pitcher from Double-A and throw him into the big leagues and throw him in the AL East, there's so much that he has to learn about himself and the league. And you know, Blue Jays knew what they were getting. They were hoping for the best, and now he's just going to go down there and maybe gain some confidence.
Yeah, and I think that's the first step. And the one thing I mentioned, and I think it's imperative, that he controls his emotions, controls himself on the mound. And I think that's the best pitcher, when you see a guy that you can't tell if he's winning or losing or having a great day or a horrible day. I think back to David Cohn. I think to Greg Maddux, John Lester. We saw it over the weekend. You can't tell how he's doing, and that's the goal. You got to get to that point as a pitcher. Ball in the strike. Back to the top of the order. J.J. Hardy singled and scored in the first. Did a good job of base running. Went first to third on a Markakis single. Had himself in position for the sac fly of Adam Jones. Out in front of that off-speed pitch. But you talk about hitting against a guy when you know that he's reluctant to throw it. You see him grabbing the rosin bag, kicking it to rubber, shaking off signs, walking around the mound. That tells you as a hitter that he's not very confident.
Yeah, body language. And then you start dissecting his pitches, what he can throw for a strike. And when you're constantly falling behind, you start eliminating pitches. You eliminate the changeup. He's not throwing it for a strike. You start eliminating the curveball when he can't throw that for a strike. So you're basically sitting on 1 or 2 pitches. Hitting becomes very easy then.
Well, and we know that Kyle is very competitive, and you know, competition is great. You love to see people who want to compete. He's not intimidated. Don't think that in any way. But he has to learn how to control the game. Pitchers set the tempo for the ball game.
How about dealing with failure? That is something.
There's a drive to left field. That'll get over the head of Corey Patterson and bang off the wall. Hardy is headed for second, and he'll get there with a stand-up double. He's 2 for 2 already tonight.
And he is swinging a hot bat. Again, since moving into that leadoff spot for Brian Roberts, he is hitting over 375 coming into this game. Jim Presley has a lot to do with the way J.J. Hardy is swinging. He saw him in spring training, and he was just waffling balls to right field. And he said, listen, man, you've got some juice in your bat. Turn on some of these pitches. They throw it in there. This is a guy who had 50 home runs for 2 years with Milwaukee. Let me see you start turning on some pitches. Well, he's starting to do that.
07 and 08. He had 26 in 07. He had 24 in 08. Nick Markakis had a single his first time up. Plays off the off-speed pitch. Markakis singled to center and took a big turn around first and got caught in a rundown when J.J. Hardy went first to third. And he was tagged out. A fastball.
You know, I never understood why hitters would try and just softly hit balls the other way when they've got some kind of pop in their bat. Markakis is not that type of hitter. He's got some juice in his bat also. You start thinking about hitting the ball the other way, sometimes you get beat with inside fastballs.
I'll tell you what it is. I think it's playing for a hitting coach that says, you know what, I'm going to have you hit to the whole field, and some guys can't do that.
They can't do it.
You have to think about their strengths. That happened to John Buck in Kansas City. They wanted him to hit for a high average. Who cares if a catcher hits for a high average? I want a catcher that does some damage. John Buck started pulling the ball and ended up with a 20 home run season.
That's why hitting coaches, you know, you can't teach hitting one way to everybody. This is Jim Presley's first year here with the Baltimore Orioles, and he was a good hitter when he was a player with Seattle in the big leagues. He was the Marlins hitting coaches for a long time. And he says, hey, if you get a pitch that you can hit, I want you to turn on it and start powering the ball out of the ballpark.
Markakis gets jammed and pops it up back out of the seats. You know, and that's the real beauty of being an effective hitting coach, is you have to be able to identify what type of hitter an individual is. I mean, you can't teach one way, and Dwayne Murphy doesn't try to do that. He tries to get everybody to understand there are certain things that have to happen. You have to get your hands in a good spot, and you have to get your foot down on time.
Biggest fallacy about what people talked about with Charlie Lau, right? They all said Charlie Lau teaches only one way of hitting. And I talked to George Brett about that. He says that was the biggest fallacy that people thought. He knew the strengths of what you have to do. Everybody just does it a different way.
Right. And Jim Presley and Dwayne Murphy might teach the same end result, but get there in a different fashion. And it's all about how you communicate. It also helps if you have good hitters.
For me, they are all good hitters because they're at the big league level.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be here if they weren't good.
Well, I think that's why Kevin Long of the Yankees deserves so much credit, because he's got some future Hall of Famers on his team that he's asked to make dramatic changes. And they have.
And they have. So that they trust him. They understand what his thinking is.
Quite a battle going on between Markakis and Villanueva. 3-2, 1 out. Markakis takes the walk. So after retiring the number 9 hitter, Villanueva gives up a double and walks Markakis. That'll bring Adam Jones to the plate. Jones has a sac fly tonight. First and second, 1 out. We are in the 3rd inning on a perfect night for baseball at Rogers Center. A 1-1 game. The Blue Jays took 2 or 3 from the Orioles first weekend of June in Baltimore. And the Orioles have had no fun here at Rogers Center. They've lost 23 of the last 25 games they've played against the Blue Jays here in this ballpark.
14 in a row. They have not won in this ballpark since June of 2009.
That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Major league clubs, you figure somebody's going to hit a home run or somebody's going to have a great game from the mound, and you're not going to lose 14 straight.
You're within the same division, so you know you play them over and over again. The Blue Jays have had some success versus Baltimore the last couple of years, not just here.
Changeup pulled foul. Yeah, the Blue Jays are 17-4 against the Orioles since 2010. Buck Showalter didn't come on into the Orioles situation until last August. This is his first full season as the manager.
Got off to a great start with them last year when he finished out the season. I believe they were 11 games over 500. And they got off to a great start this year.
Jones pops it up into right field. Bautista got a late break, but he's got time and gets there and retires Jones. 2 outs. Tough time of the night for outfielders. It's still twilight. The sun hasn't set. The lights haven't taken full effect, and sometimes you can lose the ball off the bat.
And how many times do you see it when batters take those big swings like that and they hit it off the end or they just pop it up? You can see Bautista take 2, maybe 3 steps back, thinking that ball was driven to right field, but he got under it.
Yeah, he saw that big swing and thought, uh-oh, he hit it pretty good. Not the case. Vladimir Guerrero singled in the first. Pops this one up. Aaron Sebia with the mask off. Back near the screen. He has room, and Guerrero's retired. Villanueva gets out of a tough situation. First and second, 2 outs. He gets the dangerous Vladdy Guerrero to pop up to end the inning. 2.5 here at Rogers Center. It's tied at 1. had been the bullpen coach until this afternoon when it was announced that Mark Connor had retired. He resigns his duties as the pitching coach. Mark Connor and Buck Showalter were together with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Very close relationship, and it caught Buck by surprise. And Rick Adair and Mark Connor were very good friends and worked very closely together with the Texas Rangers. But I spoke to Rick Adair about Mark, and Mark was my pitching coach here with the Blue Jays, and a great pitching coach. He came through the Yankee system, and just for personal reasons decided it was time to step away.
Adair has done a nice job. He has been a pitching coach in the past. And past 2 seasons before coming here, he was the Seattle Mariners pitching coach.
There's a ground ball base hit to start the bottom of the 3rd for Yunel Escobar.
Defensively for the Orioles, they have made 43 errors. That's a .983 fielding percentage. Here's how they will line up. Luke Scott in the outfield will be joined by Adam Jones and Nick Markakis with some good throwing arms in the outfield and center and right. J.J. Hardy has not made an error this season at shortstop. He'll be joined by Robert Andino in the middle of the diamond. Derek Lee just off the bereavement list. Familiar position over at first base. And Matt Wieters a very good catch and throw. Backstop.
Corey Patterson butts it to first base. Andino shovels it in. Not in time. Got a bare hand shovel quickly. He did all he could. And Buck Showalter is quickly out of the Orioles dugout. He's going to argue his case with Jerry Lane. Derek Lee, 6'5". He can really stretch and get out there, and went after the ball, but Andino's throw was not in time to get Corey Patterson.
Patterson puts very good backspin on that bunt, and the ball really slows down for Andino, and he's got a long way to travel. Watch him get the bat head out, put some English on it, some spin. You see it slowing down, and when he had to throw behind him to try and get the run, can't get much on it. And the speedy Patterson beats it out for an infield hit. I like that he is bunting more and getting more base hits that way.
That's a great opportunity to get runners on ahead of Jose Bautista. That's the 8th bunt base hit for Corey Patterson. Bautista hitting with nobody out.
This is what I like right here. Your big home run threat hitting, and really no place to put him. You've got to pitch to him.
Jose likes it too.
Give me something to hit. Homered on Sunday afternoon to break a drought, extra bases, and a home run drought.
High fastball, ball on the strike. Jose hit his 21st home run last July 3rd. This year he is well ahead of that pace, even though it seems like he's been through an extended drought. He had 9 home runs against the Orioles last year. Underneath that fastball, Jakubowski is coming right at him.
Yeah, he will challenge you with a fastball. And again, he's got the curveball that he'll use for a strikeout and a changeup. What Bautista has been doing, he's been really fighting to stay compact, stay in the middle of the field, a little bit more aggressive, staying compact. The swing at times is getting a little bit too long. When he stays back and stays compact, the ball really jumps.
Jakubowski chased Escobar back to second base. I don't think I'd be overly concerned with Yunel Escobar at second right now.
Be worried about that guy at the plate.
Off the end of the bat. Wieters didn't react as if he thought it was a foul ball, but the umpire, Brian Knight, immediately threw up his hands, but Wieters went after it like he thought it just went off his glove. Last 2 seasons, Jose Bautista's favorite opponents, he's hit 12 home runs against the Twins. Red Sox 10, Orioles 9, but the Twins number really stands out. They don't play the Twins as often as they do those American League East teams. The rest of the team in that top 5 are all American League East teams.
Just a couple of series each year.
Good swing at that pitch.
But when you hit 5 in a series, that'll
jump your numbers.
16 RBIs for Jose Bautista, his last 16 home games against the Orioles. He is in an RBI spot here.
1-2. Nobody out. Down and away. This is the first start for Jakabauskas against the Blue Jays, so not many hitters have an awful lot of information about him.
Blue Jays being very aggressive on the bases. Look at Corey Patterson getting a huge lead. He is keeping one eye on Escobar just in case he takes off, and another eye on the pitcher. Derek Lee recognizes that, and he starts to creep in to keep him close, but that's a huge lead.
Off the plate outside. Full count. We mentioned Bautista, 9 home runs against the Orioles last year. That ties the record for most home runs by an opposing player against the Orioles. Tony Bautista of this same Blue Jays ball club in 2000 had 9 home runs, and Hondo, Big Frank Howard in 1968 hit 9 home runs against the Orioles. Full count, nobody out. Runner's not going. Bautista bouncing ball to third. Second base for one. Back to first. Wide of first, and a run's going to come in. Oh, that was a tailor-made double play. Andino just threw it wide of Derek Lee, and that's hard to do. Escobar comes in to score the go-ahead run.
Defense has been a problem for the Orioles this year, particularly inner defense, being able to catch the ball. Again, 43 errors. This will be 44 right here. Let's give some credit to the runner, Corey Patterson, who goes in hard to try and break up that double play and succeeds as Andino throws it away.
There was no rush for Andino. He had plenty of time to make that throw, and Patterson was bearing down on him, but Andino was behind the bag. He just made a bad throw. Bautista's at first, now 1 out for Lynn. Boy, that defense will kill you. Turn a double play right there. It's a totally different situation for Jakabauskas.
The runners were not moving on the pitch to Bautista. Tailor-made, 2-hopper right to the third baseman. And instead of 2 outs, runner on third, it's a run in at 1 out. And a dangerous hitter at the plate.
But to his credit, Jakabauskas comes right back and gets ahead of Adam Lind, 0-2. We mentioned Jakabauskas went to University of Oklahoma. Also spent some time at Cal State Fullerton, but he was a position player, played outfield and first base, pitched a little bit in high school. But then somewhere along the line lost his stroke. 0-2.
We've seen that happen before.
Yeah, I can vouch for losing your stroke. I lost mine about 3 years into my 17-year career.
But he had something to fall back on.
Yeah, he could pitch.
Mariners signed him out of the Independent American Association in 2007. And his pitching coach for the Seattle Mariners at that time?
Rick Adair.
Rick Adair.
And he really was a fortunate situation. 2009 during the WBC. Seattle Mariners had Felix Hernandez and Carlos Silva pitch for Venezuela. They also had Eric Bedard injured, so they needed a starter. Jakabauskas got a lot of innings that spring and pitched his way onto the team. Only Ryan Roland Smith threw more innings for the Mariners in the spring of 2009, and Jakabauskas made the most of it.
Ended up getting in 35 games for the Mariners in 2009. Won 6 games for him.
Full count to Adam Lind. Bautista at first. There goes Bautista. Driven deep but foul down the left side.
This is his career ERA by month, and this is his best month, the month of June. April and May haven't been very kind to him, neither has July, but you get the calendar saying June, and Jakabauskas turns into a different pitcher.
Not really sure how long the Orioles are going to stay with this alignment of the rotation. There goes Bautista again, and another foul pop. Zach Britton was originally scheduled to make this start tonight, the young left-hander in his first season. They want to make sure they don't run his innings too high, so they skipped him this start. But Showalter said they'd like to see Britton pitch in September. So they want him to take every opportunity they can to cut down on his total innings work.
They call it giving him a little bit of a breather right now. He is scheduled to pitch Friday. Get right back on the rotation and get back in there. 150 innings last year for Britton. They don't want to jump that up to, let's say, 220.
3-2, 1 out. Bautista not running. Then takes the walk. Second walk issued by Jakabauskas here tonight. So there are 2 on for J.P. Arencibia. Arencibia flied out to right his first time up. John Russell is the bench coach. He originally was the third base coach, but he and Willie Randolph flipped roles. Randolph now coaching down at third. And there's the former manager of the Brewers and Mets, Willie Randolph. Big swing from Arencibia, and he fouls it back. Randolph was, of course, the bench coach with Milwaukee and Ken Maka, and the manager of the Mets.
He was also the third base coach for those good Yankee teams.
Pretty good second baseman when he played too. Played on those great mid-70s teams for Billy Martin. Ball on the strike to J.P. Arencibia. Blue Jays are getting great production from their catchers. They have the third most RBIs in the majors with 38 from their backstops. The Atlanta Braves with Brian McCann have 45 RBIs from the catchers. Detroit with Alex Avila have 39. Kansas City is 1 ahead of the New York Yankees.
Tigers also have Victor Martinez, but he's DHing more now.
There's a strike. 1-2. Blue Jays have taken a 1-run lead here in the third thanks to a throwing error by Robert Andino. Looked like a tailor-made double play. He just threw it wide of first. For Andino, his 7th error of the season. Bouncing ball to second. Big hop. Andino with the toss to second, then back to first. Not in time. Arencibia legs it out to keep the inning alive. That was a long way to go with that backhanded toss from Andino, but it was a slow hit ball and a big hop at the end.
It's a firm throw and a good throw, but you're right. It's a long way to go with that backhanded throw from second base. He moves to his left, and there's the shovel. It's got a little something on it, but even the good arm of J.J. Hardy can't beat that one. As Arencibia keeps the inning alive, and that could turn out to be a big play.
Edwin Encarnacion would love to cash in. Goes after the first pitch. Encarnacion flied out to right his first time up.
Pitchers have been really staying away from Encarnacion. He is going to have to make that adjustment and try and use all the field.
Now, he certainly has the power to hit the ball out anywhere. Again, staying away. Edwin had one of the 2 hits against John Lester. The other, the home run by Jose Bautista. Lester was pretty good. 8 innings of 2-hit ball. Bouncing ball to short. Hardy with those sure hands. On the money to Derek Lee, and Jakabauskas strands a pair. But the Blue Jays take a lead, take advantage of the Orioles' shaky defense. 2-1. Blue Jays. top of your batting order with Yunel Escobar and Corey Patterson. The way it played out in the third inning pretty much sets up the heart of the order pretty effectively. Escobar, not your prototypical leadoff batter, but boy, he and Patterson have done a great job setting the table.
They have, Buck, and when you look at Yunel's skills, his ability to get on base, and then with Patty behind him, he's got the ability to lay down the sac bunt or base hit bunt, as you showed, or the ability to hook the ball through the 3-4 hole, and then you get the middle of the order coming up, and we did a good job manufacturing a run right there.
How important is it to have Adam Lynn hitting behind Jose Bautista the way he's swinging?
Well, Tabby, as you know, anytime you've got that kind of bat in between, right behind Jose, it makes the opposition think. They can't just take for granted and give a free pass to Jose. And Lindy, as you saw in the first inning with the RBI double, he's just done a great job for us.
John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Back here at Rogers Center, the roof is open. It's a beautiful night, and Carlos Villanueva is enjoying a one-run lead here as he starts the fourth. Those a first pitch strike to Matt Wieters.
Oh, those left-handed pitchers.
They're all flaky, aren't they?
Oh, they just... I guess they don't have anything better to do, right?
Yeah, when you and I come back as baseball players, we want to come back as left-handed pitchers. They only work once a week. They have a lot of time, and they seem to get away with whatever they want.
Yeah.
See, there they go.
Yeah.
Gone again.
Both of them.
Both left-handers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they can pitch forever.
John's thinking, Bruce, can't you do something with those two left-handers? Villanueva is ahead 0-2. Pop up into shallow right center. Bautista runs. Rajay Davis with the good wheels comes out of nowhere to make the catch. That ball hung up there a long time. You have to play back to honor the power of Wieters, and Davis has good speed.
That's where that fastball comes in handy, but it almost backfires on him. But the good speed of Rajay Davis just runs right through that ball for the first out here in the fourth inning. He started Wieters off with a changeup, 78 miles an hour, and then he dropped an 89 mile an hour fastball, and Wieters jammed himself.
Derek Lee, 0 for 1 tonight. Well, put yourself in Wieters' shoes. You're up there, first pitch is a changeup. How often are you going to swing at that pitch?
You're not if you're a good hitter. I mean, unless you go up there and you have some kind of history with the guy and he's led you off with changeups before, maybe you look for it the first time. But the history just isn't there between Villanueva and Matt Wieters.
Especially leading off an inning, you want to get something you can drive, and that's not the first pitch you'd think about to start the inning. Upstairs. Villanueva has always wanted to start. He's probably been cursed by the fact that he is very versatile. He is valuable out of the bullpen, and he can start. Another high pop-up. This one's into shallow right field. 2 fly ball outs here in the fourth.
So you have a commodity in Carlos Villanueva that he can basically pitch in 2 different positions. Which one is better? Which is his best role? I love him as a reliever because he's so valuable. If your starter gets knocked out early, he can come in and really stabilize that bullpen. But he is showing as a starter that he can get you deep into a ball game.
Well, that's a real quandary for Villanueva because being a long man is probably the least desirable job on a pitching staff. You never know when you're going to pitch. You certainly don't get paid for that role. Luke Scott bunts it up to third baseline. Villanueva was the only one that had a chance, and he probably had a little more time than he thought. He slid, tried to barehand it, and Luke Scott has a 2-out base hit.
Blue Jays have to know that Luke Scott's shoulder is bothering him. So they are in an exaggerated shift. The whole left side of the infield is wide open. Luke Scott faked it his first time up. That time he just drops it down. The only guy who can make a play is Villanueva.
Well, I think he'll give Luke Scott a 2-out bunt single and avoid the threat of a possible home run. Scott has 8 homers. Reynolds has got power. Obviously, he's got 12 home runs. He's kind of a do-or-die power hitter.
all or nothing.
Hit a grand slam home run off Ricky Romero the last time these two clubs met. Orioles have 3 grand slams this season. J.J. Hardy, Mark Reynolds, and Nick Markakis have all gone deep with the bases loaded. Two and 0. This is when Reynolds is most dangerous, when he can just free up the bat, take a big, powerful swing. Got the count in his favor, 2-0.
Sit on a fastball and see how far you could hit it. Hit 44 home runs a couple of years ago for Arizona.
There's that home run swing. Now let me ask you this. Would you rather hit in Arizona or Colorado?
Colorado.
They're both pretty good hitters, ballparks. That's that Arizona home run swing right there. People forget just how high the ballpark is in Phoenix, second highest altitude to Coors Field in Denver. The ball flies out of there.
Flies in Arizona. That's why you love going to spring training there. The ball just carries.
2-1, 2 outs. Luke Scott at first. Breaking ball popped up behind home. And Sebia gave it a look, but it's well out of play. Mark Reynolds' first series at Rogers Center. Played against Blue Jays last year when they went out to Arizona for interleague play. 2-2, 2 outs. There's a base hit to left field. Corey Patterson looked up and the ball was on the ground. Luke Scott got it started with that 2-out bunt single. Now Villanueva's got to deal with first and second 2 outs. Robert Andino, the number 9 hitter.
You know he will want to make up for that error that he had just last inning. A couple of runners on, 2 outs.
Andino had 4 hits in the 3 games against the Blue Jays back in Baltimore. Andino, as Pat mentioned, starting in place of Brian Roberts, their regular second baseman who's been dealing with injuries all year long. Off the plate inside. I mentioned Villanueva's had trouble with runners in scoring position. They've hit him hard when he's been in this situation. Scott with a bunt base hit, Reynolds with a solid single to left, both coming with 2 outs. Bouncing ball wide of third. Nix will go to second for the force side, and Villanueva gets out of it. Orioles strand 2 more. They've left 5 on. They trail the Blue Jays 2-1. Jays are about ready to go to St. Louis to play the Cardinals.
So is Joey Votto, and that's where we go this weekend, too. Votto hit a 3-run home run last night against the Dodgers.
Now, this is going to be an interesting trip once we finish up this Orioles series. Cincinnati, Atlanta, St. Louis. The swing through National League cities. Hardy deep at shortstop. No time to get Hill as he beats it out. Infield single to start the bottom of the fourth. Aaron Hill's 2 for 2.
Yeah, they all even out. Again, he had a couple of balls hard in the Boston Red Sox series. Didn't have anything to show for it. Dropped one down the right field line last time. This time beats out that infield hit to deep shortstop. Really nothing Hardy can do with that. Good effort on both he and Lee's side.
Hardy's got good hands. He unloaded that ball in a hurry, but just had no chance to get Hill. Rajai Davis swings at the first pitch and lifts a pop-up down the right side. Warning track into the seats. Davis caught looking at an inside fastball his first time. Looked like he was looking for something away or an off-speed pitch from Jakubowskis and got the fastball.
Snuck it by him. Rajai thinking that the ball was a little low. Looked like it might have been under the knee.
This fly ball to right field. Markakis over near the line. He has room. Makes the catch. Davis is retired. 1 out. Good time to play hit and run here in this situation. Jakubowskis has been around the plate all night long. Nix can handle a bat. Of course, Hill can run.
8 for 8 in steals, but you got Matt Wieters back there.
I just think you create a little movement on the infield for Jason Nix.
I think that's the best thing right here. First pitch, don't even wait around.
Well, Nix hacked at it, but fouled it back.
Matt Wieters leads all major league catchers in runners caught stealing, so stealing a base against him is going to be tough. But starting the runner when you're in a good hitter's count might be a good idea.
You know, especially because the pitcher, Jakubowskis, has been around the plate all night long. He's walked a couple, but he's been all around the strike zone all night. Ball on the strike. I think, too, John Farrell would love to pad this lead a little bit. There are the numbers for Hill. He's perfect this season in steal attempts. Blue Jays have lost 4 straight. They'd love to get the taste out of their mouth of that sweep at the hands of the Red Sox.
Well, if you're going to hit and run, this is the best time to do it right here.
Yeah, you figure he's got to throw a strike. Brian Butterfield going through the signs, and Jakubowskis doesn't want to fall any further behind Jason Nix.
If you can handle the bat, you can shoot one to right field. Just get a grounder to the right side of the infield. With Lee holding the runner on, there's a huge hole on the right side.
And they're going to check in on Hill just to make sure he doesn't get a great jump. One thing you don't need is that steal jump if you're going to play hit and run. You can wait till the pitcher unloads toward the plate.
Yeah, just make sure he goes to home. Don't get picked off here. You don't have to get that exaggerated lead. Orioles think something's up.
Well, the Blue Jays have run all year long. They've been overly aggressive already. They've surpassed last year's total in steals. When Showalter pays attention, he understands John Farrell's trying to push the offense. There goes Hill. And after all of that, Jakubowskis hits Nix. So they get the desired results. They get 2 base runners on.
Looked like he was going to try and pound him inside, but it hits him right on the backside, right in the number 2. So now, guys, lost it a little bit. He's thinking a little bit, start the runners, let's go, right? Let's really get in their heads and see if they can start the runners and make something else happen. That is the way John Farrell has played it all season long.
1 out. Escobar goes after the first pitch and lifts it down the right side in foul territory, and it'll bounce out of play. Blue Jays are a little late on Jakubowskis. They've hit several of those balls down the right field line. It just shows that they don't have a real good read on his velocity yet. He's beaten several of the right-handed hitters with that fastball.
He is what we would call a short armer. Hides the ball behind him. He doesn't really get full extension. And he short arms the ball to home plate, so it's going to get up there. You don't see it very well. Jumps on.
There's a base hit into center field. Aaron Hill will come around. He'll score. Nix is going to third. Escobar delivers the RBI single. It's 3-1 Blue Jays. 25th ribby of the season for the Blue Jays shortstop.
And that's where Escobar needs to stay, I think, to be successful. Stay in the middle of the field. If they make a mistake, he'll be able to turn on it. This is a flat breaking ball that stays over the middle of the plate, and he stays in the middle of the field as he drives it into center field, scoring Aaron Hill easily with the Jays' third run.
Once again, the threat of that hit and run with Hill at first base created an opportunity. Jakubowskis hit Nix, put 2 runners on, and Escobar cashes in with the RBI base hit. Corey Patterson takes the first pitch downstairs.
And he is thinking about getting a ball to the outfield right now. Got a runner at third, less than 2 outs. A lot of speed. He's not going to hit into a lot of double plays.
Bouncing ball. Lee bobbles it, and he's going to have to go to first just in time to get Patterson. He tagged him as he knew he couldn't get to the bag ahead of Corey. But Corey will pick up an RBI. Derek Lee was coming home.
Yeah, he was coming home because he couldn't turn a double play on that ball. But he mishandled the ball. Looked like it hit him off the end of the glove or on the heel of the glove, and that allows Nix to score from third base. Lee, a very good fielding first baseman. Looked like he tagged Patterson after he was on the bag. Patterson looking back to see if that run scores, and there's the tag, and it looks like he's standing on top of the base.
2 outs. Bautista looks at an outside pitch. Jose's been on twice. He walked in the first and reached on a fielder's choice in the third. 2 runs in here in the fourth. Wieters does a good job of moving around behind the plate for a big guy. He's about 6'5". A lot of body to move in front of that baseball, but he's very quick.
Very quick with very good hands.
Lind on deck. You can see Jakubowskis looked over in the on-deck circle. It doesn't get much easier over there either.
Yeah, and that's why they're going to start all over with Adam Lind. They're going to go ahead and put on Bautista now. 3-0 count. They don't want him swinging in a 3-0 pitch. Just put him on and take your chances with Lind.
Buck Showalter pitched around Bautista in the Baltimore part of this series. First time these 2 clubs met, he issued Bautista an intentional walk.
No, that's why I asked John Farrell last inning how important Adam Lind is to his ball club hitting behind Jose Bautista, because he's not going to get anything to hit.
When these 2 clubs met back on the 5th of June, Adam Lind had a 4-for-4 day, including 2 home runs off Jeremy Guthrie. And he was on everything he swung at that afternoon.
Staying tall, keeping that front shoulder in there. We were watching him earlier this year before he hurt his back, how still his head is. His head is behind the ball. He stays right on it. And that back comes through there very quickly. Batting average up to 331. Great production. 11 home runs, 38 driven in.
That was his second multi-homer game of the season, his 6th career. Escobar with the RBI single. He's at second. Jose Bautista, intentional walk. He's at first. 2 outs. Blue Jays have upped their lead to 4-1. First pitch, breaking ball. Bautista is earning a reputation around the American League. Don't give in to him. He's right there with Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera has been afforded this respect for years. Off-speed pitch way out in front.
Well, one way to do that is to have this guy right here get hot, which he is. How about intentionally walking the right-handed batter to face the left-hander?
Ned Yost did that in Kansas City. With 2 outs, the Bautista intentional walk loaded the bases, and then Nate Adcock gives up the grand slam home run to Adam Lynn. And after Lynn rounded the bases, took a little look across the diamond, says, "You want to pitch to me, huh?" Pretty potent 1-2 punch. Bouncing ball. Derek Lee deep at first, and he'll go to the bag. So Lynn bounces out to end the inning. Blue Jays up their lead now 4-1. They lead it now. It's time for a Connected Update with Jamie and Greg live from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio at Rogers Center. Tweeting Tuesday trivia, and congratulations to Matt Harvey at Holiday Fan 32. Matt's watching from St. Catharines, Ontario, and he answered John Mayberry for the franchise home run leader in the 70s for the Blue Jays, and he'll be receiving an autographed baseball. And remember, fans, John Mayberry will be signing autographs tomorrow near section 127 from 5:45 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. as part of 70s night here at Rogers Center.
Hadaway, Matt, come on down and meet John tomorrow.
And wait till you see Pat Tabler's outfit for 70s night. He brought it out of the old cedar closet.
Yep. Yeah, I packed it in my bag and brought it up from home for this night, tomorrow night. Just think, remember that old Clue game? Is it Colonel Mustard?
Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with the broom.
There you go. That's going to be me tomorrow night.
J.J. Hardy's perfect 2 for 2. Bounces this one foul. Carlos Villanueva ahead of J.J. Hardy, a ball and 2 strikes here, leading off the 5th. And he thought that curveball caught the inside corner.
I think we all did. Villanueva, J. Pierre and CB. I think J.J. Hardy thought it got the plate also. And Carlos needs to regroup here and make a pitch.
That time he went too far. That might be a makeup call, as he is called out for going around too far. Villanueva with the strikeout.
Good hard breaking ball. Villanueva is going to pick up his first strikeout against a very hot hitter. As Hardy goes around, side view will show that he made an attempt. A little bit too much.
First strikeout of the night for the Blue Jays right-hander. Nick Markakis has been on base twice, singled and walked. It's the first pitch strike. Trying to go inside, missed all the way across the plate outside. Saw Markakis' numbers, 245, 5, and 26. His numbers are down dramatically. His highest home run total came in 2007. He had 23 home runs and drove in 112.
Had some stolen bases, scored a lot of runs. Had a streak of 88 at bats without an extra base hit. This is a guy who just fills it up with doubles.
Now, he's a line drive hitter, truly not a home run hitter, but his line drives will go out of the ballpark when he's squaring it up. Now has 94 career home runs. Seems like he's a little bit late on everything.
Yeah, those are breaking balls in the 80-mile-an-hour range, and he is late on them. Might be just a case of getting it started a little bit earlier. You know, we talk so much about Bautista, and it's a joy to watch him day in and day out, and you watch other hitters who have the same type of approach. You can see when they're late. That ball was right by him before he could uncork his swing.
Couldn't pull the trigger. Had something else on his mind, and Villanueva strikes out 2 here in the 5th.
Not ready to let it go. And you see Markakis knows that it's right there.
Villanueva with a 3-run cushion now here as he works in the 5th. He has won 3 of his 4 starts.
He is also working on a personal 8-game winning streak. We were talking to Bruce Walton before the game about Villanueva. He says he has so many different pitches that he wants him just to go out there and use the fastball, use the curveball. Don't start dropping down and inventing pitches as this game goes along. Use the stuff that got you here.
Sometime a pitcher can have too many weapons. Instead of just utilizing 3 and mixing up with the velocity and location. That's plenty of combinations to pitch in the big leagues.
And I think that's what he was saying, that you've got a good fastball, plenty of fastball. He spots it and he throws it for strikes. He's got a good overhand curveball and an excellent changeup. No need to start tricking anybody.
Just trust what you're seeing. You're getting them out with fastballs, you're getting them out with changeups. Stick with it. 2-1. Another good changeup. Villanueva can pitch, and Bruce Walton characterizes his approach as very professional. Takes a professional approach to his side sessions, a professional approach to his work days, his conditioning, and when he goes out on the mound, it's all business.
Doesn't seem to get rattled when he is out there either. Always seems to be in control.
And he's got Jones back and forth on velocity. He's behind the fastball and ahead of the off-speed pitches. That's a perfect scenario.
Did the same thing to Nick Markakis. Back and forth. Use that fastball, drop in that changeup.
Markakis ended up looking at strike 3 right down in the middle. Again, Jones is late. That proverbial emergency hat keeps him alive.
So when does he change as a hitter? He's throwing him 2 fastballs when he's looking for breaking balls. When does Adam Jones change
You can't change with 2 strikes, can you?
Change your approach or change for something. And when does Villanueva change? Stays with the fastball.
How about that? 5th inning, his best inning yet. He strikes out the side. His first 3 strikeouts of the night. J.J. Hardy can't hold up on the slider. Nick Markakis in between takes a fastball. Adam Jones late on the heater. Interesting to keep track of that. The Cleveland Indians hold percentage points over the Detroit Tigers. They are in a virtual tie for the American League Central lead. Cleveland's really fallen upon hard times. They've won just 2 of their last 10 ball games. J.P. Arancibia pops it into deep right center. Jones in front of the warning track is there and makes the catch, first out. Fans, you can catch all the Stanley Cup final action. Canucks Connected, the Stanley Cup edition. Game 7 pregame show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet East, Ontario, Western Pacific. The post-game show reaction analysis following Game 7 on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Everything you need to know about Game 7 right here on Sportsnet. What a series.
Oh, yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Does the goalie come back for
Luongo?
Yeah. Checks it back?
He'll be back in the net.
All right.
Yeah. How about the 2 goalies? Tim Thomas and little Luongo, boy, they've gone back and forth. I get the feeling that these guys don't like each other.
Why's that?
I think if I'd have been a goalie, I'd have been one of those guys that whacks those guys on the legs when they get in front of me.
Sure.
Get out of the way. I can't see.
Not a flopper?
No.
No?
Just get out of the way. You're blocking my view. Bottom of the 5th inning, Blue Jays up 4-1. When Encarnacion, ground ball to short. J.J. Hardy handles everything.
You know, you were talking about the Indians are not hitting, but they won a game yesterday, 1-0. They aren't hitting. They got just enough yesterday to win. That's been going around a little bit too much this year, those 1-0 games.
There have been 21-0 shutouts this year, and the Indians have won 3 of them. That's pretty incredible. They've also been involved in a 1-0 loss. But that was just the second Yankee 1-0 loss at Yankee Stadium over the last 11 seasons. That's hard to imagine. How about the Yankees having the bases loaded and nobody out in the first and not scoring?
And not scoring. And that was it.
Yeah.
Hang with them the rest of the way.
Aaron Hill has been on everything tonight. This time he hits it right to the shortstop. A quick inning for Chris Jakubowskis. We have played 5 innings here at Rogers and a perfect night in Toronto. The Blue Jays are up by 3. Center. Let's check in on the starters, and both Chris Jakubowskis and Carlos Villanueva have been pretty good here tonight, but Villanueva has the upper hand. He struck out the side to end the 5th.
Yeah, seems to be getting stronger as this game goes along. Jakubowskis appeared in 2 games in relief against the Jays. This is his first start, and he has pitched very well. 4 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Villanueva, his last time out for the Blue Jays, gave him 7 innings for the first time this year. And again, it looks like he's getting stronger and stronger as this game goes along.
I think he likes his new role as a starter, and there's no reason not to continue to see him in this role. Vladdy Guerrero went after the big, slow curveball.
Well, if there is anybody in baseball who you're going to throw this type of pitch to, it's Vladimir Guerrero, a free swinger.
But I wouldn't throw it again.
No. Liable to hit it off the windows.
You know, I always marvel at the comparisons, and oftentimes the late Roberto Clemente and Guerrero are compared to one another for their slashing style, but it's not really a valid comparison. Guerrero's a monster next to Clemente when he was a player. Clemente was about 5'11", weighed about 170 pounds.
Guerrero about 6'3".
Gets jammed with that inside heater. Plenty of time for Knicks.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
1 out in the 6th, 4-1 Blue Jays lead. Matt Wieters, the catcher, is 0 for 2. If you've just tuned in, the Blue Jays announced today that Kyle Drabek will go back to the minor leagues, and his spot will be taken by Zach Stewart, who has been called up from Double-A New Hampshire. Hot shot, but right to Hill at second base. 2 quick outs here in the 6th.
And we will see Zach Stewart on Thursday afternoon at 12:30.
Zach Stewart pitched at Double-A last year, went back, made 12 starts in New Hampshire this year. 4-3 record. Really not that impressed by the numbers, but lately he's been throwing the ball much better with a little more velocity.
Yeah, his last 3 starts much better. Giving up more hits than innings pitched.
Derek Lee drives it a mile high into shallow center. What a good inning for Villanueva. Back-to-back strong innings. Just 6 pitches. Finishes off the O's in the 6th. Tuesday, and now it's time for the Twitter question of the day. And Josh B21 asks, with the recent news of right-handed pitcher Zach Stewart coming up to play with the club, what can we look forward to in terms of his ability, Mr. Tabler?
Well, he's got great ability. He's got a good arm. He can mix his pitches. He's basically a fastball, sinker, slider type of pitcher. Spent all of last season in Double-A, and he was the second best pitcher on that staff. The other one was Kyle Drabeck. They sent him back there to refine his delivery a little bit, clean it up a little bit, gain a little bit more experience in Double-A, and keeping him there, I think, gave him a chance to get closer to the big leagues here. So when they went and got somebody, that was the man they wanted. But he does have great ability. He was the guy that J.P. Ricciardi insisted on having in the Scott Rowland trade from the Cincinnati Reds. Edwin Encarnacion came over. Josh Renicky also came over. But they said, you know, if you want Rowland, you have to put in
Zach Stewart, frontline pitching prospect.
Got to have him.
Some real upside to that trade. He fights off an inside fastball. We saw Stewart a little bit in the spring, and he's a strike thrower. Not overpowering, but he'll pitch in the low 90s with good movement on his sinking fastball. And as Bruce Walton reminded us before the game this afternoon, keeps the ball on the ground. There's a breaking ball, and Davis strikes out, and in the process hammers Matt Wieters in the helmet with the backswing. Just the second strikeout for the big right-hander, Chris Jakubowskis.
Both of them against Rajai Davis. First time taking, and this time curveball. And there's the follow-through. It knocks the mask off of Matt Wieters. Also, when you're a ground ball pitcher and you're getting a lot of ground balls, you have a chance to get outs.
Yeah, and you can pitch late into the game because you're going to have quick innings. And certainly you would think that he would fare better pitching in front of a major league infield. Got better range, got guys that can make better plays, more consistent plays behind you. I'm interested to see him pitch. He will pitch here on Saturday afternoon, series finale. On Thursday afternoon, the series finale. Nick's 0 for 1. Scored one of the 2 runs in the 4th. Bouncing ball that'll get through into center. A one-out base hit. Left-hander Michael Gonzalez loosening up. That's Terry Crowley, the coach behind Gonzalez, the former hitting coach of the Orioles. He has been put in place as the interim bullpen coach. Kind of a curious assignment. Yunel Escobar, a couple of hits and an RBI. He's also scored a run. You mentioned Escobar's approach to play, staying to the middle of the field. What does that do for him as a hitter? Does it just allow him to wait longer?
You can wait a little bit longer, and it really keeps that front shoulder. You do that, and you've got a chance. Anything on the inner half, if you've got that front shoulder in, you can just use your hands and pull the bat through. You have no chance as that ball's in the dirt, and Nix alertly moves up. Couple players taken out. Nix gets into scoring position. But you keep that front shoulder in on a pitch away, and you've got a chance to get a base hit to right field.
Well, that was a good reaction by Nix, as immediately when he saw that ball in the dirt, he takes off for second. Really doesn't make any difference how quickly Wieters gets to it. If you react that way, you're going to take advantage of the wild pitch.
I think that's something that they should teach in the minor leagues. Anytime you're on base and you see a ball bounce in front of home plate, just take off.
Go.
Don't read it, just take off. As soon as it bounces, and that's going to get your mind thinking about moving up every time you see a ball in the dirt.
Kansas City Royals, before they start batting practice every day at home, have a base running drill, and that's exactly what they did as a team the other day. First base coach Doug Sisson stood on the mound and threw balls in the dirt with runners on base, and they all broke as soon as the ball was headed for the dirt. It was a great drill.
You can watch the ball from second base. The ball's fouled. You can see the flight of the ball from first base. And if you read that ball's in it, just take off.
There are so many things you can do as a base runner if you put a little thought into it. Jakubowski has been throwing that big curveball. If you see that curveball arcing out of the hand, you have to anticipate he's going to bounce. So you take an extra little pop.
That's the key word in that whole thing, anticipation. As that ball is hammered right off the top of the foot of Escobar.
Full count, 1 out. Jason Nix at second base. Escobar takes the walk.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Well, with that 1 out walk, Chris Jakubowski will give way to the bullpen. Buck Showalter has come out and called for the left-hander. Michael Gonzalez in to pitch to Corey Patterson when we come back. Francisco Liriano flirted with his second no-hitter of the season, his last start. Verlander doing the same. Of course, we saw Verlander right here at Rogers Center pitch his first no-hitter of the season. Michael Gonzalez, the left-hander, in to face Corey Patterson with 2 on and 1 out. Patterson 1 for 8 against Gonzalez. Long drive, but well foul, and Patterson was looking for that first pitch fastball.
And Gonzalez later right in there for him. Patterson's done a good job this year hitting left-handers. .313 versus the lefties this year. Picked up his 29th RBI on an RBI ground out his last time up. Gonzalez was a big signee last year for Baltimore from Atlanta. He was supposed to be their closer, and it just didn't work out last year.
Fastball on the corner. Patterson's in a hole, 0-2. Gonzalez wasn't healthy last year. He had arm problems and tried to pitch with those arm problems. And know the numbers Pat was talking about. .313 average with a homer and 7 RBIs against the lefties. Gonzalez is healthy and throwing much better this season. And he gets Corey Patterson.
He saved 24 games for Pittsburgh a few years ago. You can see why. 92 miles an hour with that high fastball as he climbs the ladder to get him. He had 14 saves with Atlanta before coming over here, signing a big contract for the Baltimore Orioles, and he had that shoulder problem last year. Eventually was put on a 60-day DL, missed most of the season.
Jose Bautista has been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. 2 walks and a fielder's choice. First and second, 2 down now. Bautista is 0 for 2 against the Orioles left-hander Michael Gonzalez. Off the plate inside. Wasn't quite as dramatic as the fans are reacting. Bautista just hung in there a little bit longer.
Looked like something hard inside. Just backs him off the plate.
Changeup on the outside corner and a good pitch.
Hard in, soft away. Pound him in and then throw a changeup down and away.
An off-speed pitch outside. Bautista's hit left-handed pitching to the tune of 362. Another off-speed pitch. Threw him that one fastball just to show him the fastball. Now he's giving him a steady diet of off-speed stuff.
Looks like he's going to mess with him.
This Jakubowskis on the hook for these 2 base runners. He's already been charged with 4 earned runs here this evening. Looked like he was out in front of that pitch. That was a fastball, but he was a little quick.
They set up on the inner half. That comes through and he fouls it off. He throws him an off-speed pitch here. Bautista's looking for it. Watch out.
2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. Blue Jays up 4-1. Bounced. Threw him the off-speed pitch, but threw it straight into the ground. So it's a full count with 2 outs. Jason Nix, his first hit of the night. He stands at second. Junel Escobar has been on board 3 times tonight. He walked. Runners will be off on the pitch. There they go. Off the plate inside. Gonzalez thought he had caught the inside corner. Bautista walks for a 3rd time tonight.
Tried to go back in there to slip one by him. Looked like it cut just a little bit off the plate. That's how Wieters catches the ball and tries to pull it back to the inside part.
Boy, that's a tough pitch to take. Looks like it might have touched the front edge of that plate. Bases are now loaded for Adam Lind. Breaking ball caught the inside corner. Then thought it came around the corner. Lind hit a grand slam last Wednesday in Kansas City. This time he grounds to second. Andino takes his time, throws Lind out, and the Blue Jays strand the bases loaded. Michael Gonzalez comes out of the bullpen and does the job. He strikes out 1, walks 1, and then gets Lind to end the 6th. players in the TD Comfort Zone are Blue Jays Twitter followers enjoying a great night here at Rogers Center on Twitter Tuesday as the Blue Jays lead the Orioles 4-1. Front row seats, and they've got their Vote Jose t-shirts on as well. Chris Jakubowski goes 5 1/3. He gives up 7 hits. He's charged with 4 earned runs, and he's on the hook for a loss here tonight.
4 walks, which is a season high for Jakubowski. One of them came around to score. He also hit a batter, and he came around to score. So his night is through after 101 pitches. The story so far in this game has been Carlos Villanueva.
Sure has, as Villanueva is set to start the 7th. Luke Scott leads things off. Yunel Escobar has moved in to guard against that leadoff bunt. Scott bunted his last time up, and that started a little mini rally, but Villanueva was able to get out of it.
The window right back through the middle is wide open for Luke Scott.
Anybody ever play a shift against you like that?
No. No need to.
You use the whole field.
I use the whole field. When I talk about the middle, the window open, look at all the middle. All you have to get it by the pitcher. Ground ball back through the pitcher. Now with the count of 1-1, you see Escobar now starting to move back to his normal position and shut that window.
Well, Brian Butterfield's responsible for moving the infielders around, and now Scott says, "You're going to give it to me, I'll take it." And sure enough, he did. His second bunt hit. Not a bad play in that situation. He leads off the inning. And Scott, with 1 strike, says, "Okay, I see the shortstop move back." Just squared around and poked it right down there to third base. It takes the leadoff bunt.
Well, he's paying attention. He saw that Escobar move back to the middle. All you have to do is get it down, really. Villanueva will be charged with another hit, the 7th of the night for the Orioles.
Well, and Luke Scott's got to be thinking, you know what, I'm not really swinging the bat that well with my shoulder problem, and he just had a cortisone shot. Said, I got to take that hit, start the inning. Why not?
They need base runners.
So that's their 7th hit. Orioles have 7 hits, just a single run. Blue Jays have 7 hits, but that's led to 4 runs. The dangerous Mark Reynolds singled his last time up. Catchers are taking a beating here tonight.
He's got that long backswing, does Reynolds. It looked like he smoked J. Pierre Ancibia with it.
He'll take that top hand off the bat and really spin behind, and looked like he caught Aaron Ancibia. Earlier we saw Rajay Davis hit Matt Wieters.
Full swing, and there's the finish. Pops him right on the face mask.
No balls and a strike. Nobody out. One and one. Villanueva has only thrown 94 pitches to this point. He's been very economical. Of course, the 5th and 6th. Had a 3 strikeout inning in the 5th and a 6-pitch inning in the 6th. Luke Scott with his 2nd bunt single of the night led off the 7th. Three and one. Jason Frazier is loosening up in the Jays bullpen. Very difficult to pitch to Mark Reynolds with the count in his favor. Reynolds then really lets it loose.
Yeah, he is looking for one pitch right here in one spot. 32 home runs last year, 12 this year, which leads the team.
Taking a home run there, and why not? That's what he does. He's not going to hit for a high average, always among the league leaders in strikeouts. His goal is to do some damage.
Looked like they pulled the string on him. 65 strikeouts this year for Reynolds. 12 home runs. Again, leads the team 35 RBIs, which is tied for the the team lead coming into this game. Jones has taken over the team lead with a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
Adam Dunn of the White Sox leads the American League with 84 strikeouts. There's a walk. First two aboard here in the 7th inning. Fans, just a reminder, tune in to Canucks Connected, the Stanley Cup edition. Game 7 pregame show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Then after the game, the postgame show, reaction and analysis following Game 7 on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Carlos Villanueva will jog off the field after the first two reach here. He's got a 4-1 lead. He'll turn things over to Jason Frazier. Blue Jays are up 4-1. Verlander goes into that game with a 2.89 ERA and an opponent's batting average of 193. And that's going to go down. Jason Frazier out of the bullpen, his 29th appearance of the season. He'll try to shut down this Oriole rally here in Lucerne.
And this is a big part of the game right here. And Frazier has done a good job of stranding inherited runners this year. Part of your job as one of the relievers coming out in the 7th or 8th inning, you might have to come in with runners on base. He has stranded 17 of the 20 base runners he has inherited. And this is a big part of the game right here.
Now, it sure is a big part of the game. It's also important to retire that first batter you face in this situation. Jason's retired 52% of the first batters he's faced. He's trying to pick up Carlos Villanueva. Robert Andino is 0 for 2 tonight. Fly it out and hit into a fielder's choice. Good pitch with the fastball, 0-2. Well, that's what you want to see from your relievers, coming in and throwing strikes.
Quality strikes. He's been there before. He's been doing it for a long time for the Blue Jays. It's a big hitter because of that guy on deck. Hardy is swinging a hot bat.
J.J. Hardy, the shortstop's 2 for 3 so far tonight. 0-2 in the dirt, blocked by Aaron Seavey, but the runners are going to move up. Throw to second base. Well, Aaron Seavey made a strong throw. I didn't think he had a chance to make it close. Reynolds was a little late breaking, but the runners move up 90 feet.
Scott moved right away, but you're right. Mark Reynolds was late reacting on that ball in the dirt. It'll go as a wild pitch to Jason Frazier, as Aaron Seavey comes up firing, and he almost gets Reynolds at second.
Had he looked at second initially, he might have had Reynolds with that same strong throw. That's a big 90 feet, as that takes the Orioles out of a double play situation. Second and third now, still nobody out. With this appearance tonight, Jason Frazier passes Dave Stieb for third on the all-time franchise appearance list. This is his 440th game. Dave Stieb on the circle of level of excellence. 37 was his number, obviously etched in the minds of many great Blue Jay fans.
The next player on that list, Tom Henke, at 446.
The Terminator. 1-2 to Andino. Fights it off and stays alive. Frazier's had a good run here working out of the bullpen. He's been a closer, he's been a setup man, and he has been most valuable for John Farrell in all of those different roles this year.
Yeah, he'll use him with guys on base. He'll use him to get to the eighth inning guy. He'll use him in the eighth inning. Lefties have had trouble against him. He has been very good against right-handers also, just over 240. Needs a strikeout.
Well, that was a good splitter right there. That changeup had a lot of late movement down and away. Andino did a good job of wasting it.
It's a split change, which is a little bit different. It's got some tumbling motion. Just splits his index finger and his middle finger, and then releases the ball like a fastball, and it tumbles and drops to the plate, and Andino just gets a piece of it to keep his at bat alive. Can you slip a fastball by him now?
Same spot. Don't try to get cute and come inside, go down and away. Make him reach for it.
Maybe he'll give up on it. You can punch him out. He needs a strikeout. Something where the base runners don't move up.
Fly ball to right field and deep. Scott's tagging at third. Reynolds tagging at second. Bautista's throw goes to the infield. It's cut off. Andino picks up a sac fly RBI. Good at bat for the second baseman. Luke Scott scores. It's a 4-2 ball game.
That's why that wild pitch was so big right there. The runner might have tagged from second and gone to third, but the double play would still be in order. Looked like an off-speed pitch from Frazier. Up, and he muscles it to right field. Gets the run in and gets the run over.
Reynolds at third base with one out. Blue Jays will play the infield back. They will concede a run and take the out. First pitch strike to J.J. Hardy. If Hardy happens to pull it to the third baseman, he's got a shot at checking on Reynolds. I would think that's the only place where Reynolds will hold his ground if the ball is hit to the third baseman. Frazier's ahead 0-2.
You'll get some help from your third base coach on a ground ball like that. He'll tell you to make it go through. If it's to the left side or if it's in the middle of the diamond, go ahead and go. Make sure it gets by the pitcher. That's the runner at third base the Blue Jays aren't concerned about right now. It's the guy at the plate. He's the tying run.
Hardy hit a home run off Jason Frazier in the series opener in Baltimore. Frazier came in the eighth inning, gave up an infield hit to Matt Wieters, and then a two-run home run to J.J. Hardy. In this situation, Frazier's ahead 1-2 with 1 out. You'd think he'd want to stay down and away from him.
So he can't lift the ball or go extra bases on him.
Throwing that off-speed pitch. Looked like that cut Brian Knight on his left hand.
It's not just the catchers getting beat up tonight. That one looked like it knocked the clicker out of the hand of the home plate umpire.
Been rough back there behind home plate. Both catchers have been hit with back swings. In fact, the umpire got hit with that bouncing foul ball. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Mark Reynolds at third. Fastball down and away. Jason Frazier came into this game with runners at first and second and nobody out. Another good splitter that dives down.
Wow, Hardy is putting up a good at bat. Just getting a piece of that off-speed pitch. Trying to save that run right there for Carlos Villanueva.
Two and two. Driven to right, Bautista back. This ball is over his head up against the wall. Reynolds comes in to score. J.J. Hardy with a great at bat drives in the third run of the ball game. It's a 4-3 game.
He has been red hot. It's moving into that leadoff position for the Baltimore Orioles. Fouled off some tough split changes and then catches a fastball about belt high and drives it over the head of Bautista in right field. Plenty to score the runner. And now the tying run is in scoring position.
Well, that'll close the books on Carlos Villanueva. He will be charged with all 3 Oriole runs to this point. He goes 6 plus 2 batters and gives up 7 hits and 3 runs. Still in line for the win. Nick Markakis. Still only 1 out. Markakis has never had a hit against Jason Frazier. He's 0 for 5.
Good matchup here. Make a good pitch. Villanueva got him last time looking for an off-speed pitch. Struck him out looking.
Just off the corner. 3-0. Left-hander Mark Zebchinski. Looks like he's close to being ready. John Farrell, the lineup card. Right-hander Adam Jones is on deck.
I wonder if Buck Showalter gives Markakis the green light here. 3-0. Hit a grand slam the other day.
Like he was taking it 3-1.
Taken all the way.
And Jones is the one he wants to play in this situation, even though it's righty against righty. Adam Jones has been their most consistent hitter of late.
Drove in a run his first time up with a sacrifice fly.
3-1. Frazier will first look back. Hardy at second. Orioles have scored 2 here in the top of the 7th inning. All started by a Luke Scott bunt. Again, there's a pitch. 3-1. Markakis knows he's going to get a fastball, and he's late. And that's what's got the Orioles scratching their head.
He is just not getting ready to hit. He's not getting ready to swing. This ball is on him and by him as he fouls it down the left field line.
Yeah, you get that pitch, and if you're Markakis, you should be shooting it down the right field line, wrapping it around the foul pole.
Hitting it out in front just a little bit more. He just needs to get started earlier.
Don't tell him that.
No, and I hope they're not listening.
3-2. Out in front of that off-speed pitch, that's a fair ball. Then underhands to Frazier. Markakis is retired. Hardy goes to third on the out. Two down now. And a very tough Adam Jones with the tying run at third base. Carlos Villanueva gave up the bunt single to Luke Scott and then walked Mark Reynolds. That started the inning, and then Frazier came out of the bullpen.
Well, it all starts on the mound. And for the Blue Jays over the last 12 games, the pitching has been hit hard. Team ERA of about 7. That bullpen ERA, 12 games ago, they were #1 in the American League. They have fallen all the way to 7th in the AL. Opponents hitting over 300 against the Blue Jays over the last 12 games. It's amazing with your pitching. Carries you.
Oh, it sure does. And surprisingly, the Blue Jays have slipped to 13th in ERA in the American League. Only Kansas City has a higher earned run average than the Blue Jays. And that was thought to be a strength. And they have walked more batters than anybody in the American League. So Adam Jones with 2 outs and a man at third. J.J. Hardy with his 3rd hit of the night. Picked up the RBI. 4-3 Blue Jays lead. First pitch changeup. Boy, he's got a good one tonight. There's a lot of dramatic late movement with that Frazier split change.
Throwing it with great arm speed, too. Making it tough on batters. Hardy put up a great fight. Fouling off a couple of those split changes before he got a fastball hit.
Just missed inside.
Jones has been a good RBI man for the Orioles. Comes in this at bat, 9 home runs, 36 RBIs, but he's hitting with runners in scoring position. An average over 350, so he's been so clutch for it.
This is the best changeup he's had for a while. To have great arm action and then that dramatic late movement. I mean, it's really acting like a splitter tonight.
Yeah, not like a changeup, like a splitter. Look at that thing go down. No chance for the right-handed hitting Adam Jones to come up with that one. And if you've got a good one, keep throwing it.
Throw it again. 1-2, 2 outs. Fastball poked towards second. Plenty of time for Hill, and Frazier gets out of it. The Orioles add a couple, but Frazier gets Jones to end the top of the 7th. Villanueva in line for the win. Night at Rogers Center. Sportsnet 1, Ricky Romero will take on the Orioles and Jake Arrieta. Romero trying to improve his 5-6 record. Jake Arrieta trying to go to 9-3. Tomorrow the action begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Jamie and Greg on the pregame show. Lots more baseball coming up. Sportsnet 1 tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 3-game series. New pitcher for the Orioles will be the former Blue Jay, the right-hander, Jeremy Accardo.
Jeremy Accardo pitched for the Blue Jays from 2006 through 2009. Had 30 saves for him in 2007, which was good for the 8th most in the American League. The Orioles signed him in December as a free agent to a 1-year contract. Made the team out of spring training. Fastball, slider, and a good split-finger fastball is what Accardo features.
Carter had 30 saves with the Blue Jays in 2007. A very good 2.14 ERA. And Sevilla drives it to the gap in right center. That'll split the outfielders and bounce off the wall. And Sevilla with a big leadoff double to start the 7th.
Now to get him around. That's what they're going to have to do. It's a big run standing out there in the later stages of the ball game. Pierre and Sevilla's got power to all fields and reaches out on that outside fastball. Gets under it, but drives it off the wall in right center field on a bounce.
9th double of the season, Aaron Sevilla. Boy, he can drive the ball to the opposite field without much of it. Edwin Encarnacion now has to take advantage of that leadoff double. Get him over, get him in.
They're going to try and get him to pull the ball so he can't get him over. Maybe you take one shot, look for one pitch on the inner half and try and turn on it.
God, you don't ask Encarnacion to guide it to the right side. Let him swing away, see if he can't move the runner that way. Pops it back out of play.
That's not his game. No. Bat control. His game is strength and driving the ball. This isn't the guy you want up there when you need to get him over. You see the Blue Jays have struggled with runners in scoring position tonight. They have left 9 runners on base already. But take that one shot, maybe change places with J. Pierre and Sevilla.
And Sevilla got a good break throw to third base, right on the money. Boy, that was a tough break. Aaron Sevilla read it perfectly. Wieters got a break when it kicked off the umpire's foot and stayed right between his legs.
It didn't go very far. It bounced. Watch this. Aaron Sevilla does everything he can. It hits the umpire, and it's right at the feet of Wieters, and then he throws a strike. Reynolds doesn't even have to move his glove as the ball is right there. And he tags out Aaron Sevilla as a base runner. Being aggressive, nothing wrong with that. It's just Blue Jays caught a bad break.
On the umpire, you can see Brian Knight had that ball just hit his feet and stay right there, but then a perfect throw from Wieters. I mean, literally, Reynolds didn't have to do anything but catch the ball.
Catch it and just lay your glove and let him slide right into it. If that throw is offline anywhere, a foot or two here and there, he's safe.
Ball is pulled foul. Jeremy Accardo pitched last year in Las Vegas after starting out the season with the Blue Jays. Ground ball to third. Reynolds has it. 2 outs after a promising start to the inning. Aaron Sevilla's leadoff double, and he's thrown out at third, and Encarnacion grounds out to third. 2 outs.
Accardo's always had good stuff. Throws hard. Low 90s fastball. He's got a strikeout pitch and a splitter. You mentioned he made the team out of spring training last year and never pitched. Got into just a couple of games before they sent him down to Las Vegas and spent the whole season there.
Well, pops it back over the screen. Ricardo came to the Blue Jays in a deal with the San Francisco Giants that sent Shea Hillenbrand and Vinny Chalk to San Francisco. That was back on July 22nd of 06. Ricardo appeared in 27 games to finish up the 06 season and then took over the closer's role in 07.
Averaged almost a strikeout an inning while he was here. Last year, just got into 6 2/3 innings for the Jays before they shipped him out. Finished up in Las Vegas.
There's a slider. It's 2-2. Ricardo, the third Oriole pitcher here tonight. Mike Gonzalez came in, went 2/3 of an inning, closed out the 6th inning. And then Ricardo came up to lead off double, but now stands with 2 outs and nobody on. Hill drives it deep and high to left field. Luke Scott at the wall. Home run, Aaron Hill. Just his second home run of the season. A bit of insurance for the Blue Jays here in the 7th.
Oh, that helps. After a promising inning, a leadoff double, and the runner gets thrown out at third base. 2 outs, nobody on, and it takes an Aaron Hill home run. This is where he's good. High fastball, he stays right with it. And hits it far enough to left field. Gets good wood on that ball. Right into the Blue Jays pen. Home run number 2 and a big insurance run for the Blue Jays.
Boy, that is a huge run as Blue Jays look like they had a great opportunity. Hill delivers with 2 outs. Little looper into center. Jones in quickly off the play on the big hop. Rajai Davis with a 2-out single. Ricardo, that's just the 4th home run he's given up this season. And Hill's second, as Pat mentioned. Now Davis with a 2-out single. And you better keep your eye on Rajai Davis.
He is not going to be standing at first base, I think, very long. Ricardo takes a long time to get to home plate. Davis has 18 stolen bases. Ricardo has given up 5 stolen bases.
Torey Lovullo always helping his base runners at first base, giving them reminders about the slow delivery time of Ricardo. Two outs, Blue Jays. 5-3 up on the Orioles. Pitch out. Sometimes good runners can pick up from the pitcher that it's going to be a pitch out because it's so rushed to the plate.
I think Rajai Davis knew something was up here. Did not have that aggressive lead like we have seen him in the past. And did not have a big lead, a big secondary lead either. There he is, 2 feet on the dirt.
Wieters throws very well. Davis wants to see that move from Ricardo. Davis thought about it, but didn't get the jump he wanted. Talk about Matt Wieters and how good he is. 42.1%. That's second only to Kelly Shopik of the Tampa Bay Rays. Wieters has thrown out 17 potential base stealers. The Twins has also thrown the ball very well, taking over for Joe Mauer. Big lead at first for Davis.
No pass balls either for Wieters. Only catcher with 50 starts who can say that.
Now, he's a big athletic catcher, but moves around very well, and he has good hands. Regarded as more of an offensive player. There's a long drive to left, but that's going to be foul into the seats. Davis is getting close. He's timing Ricardo pretty effectively now.
He has taken an aggressive lead. Good time to go right here.
Two and two. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Jays have added a run here in the 7th on a solo home run off the bat of Aaron Hill, his 2nd of the season. Full count. So with 2 outs, Derek Lee, the first baseman, will move behind the base runner Davis at first. Yunel Escobar, a couple of hits. He's also walked. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Now they're going to keep Lee on the bag to make sure Davis doesn't get a running start at first.
You can almost score on a long single.
Vick strikes out. Accardo strikes him out the end of the inning, but Jeremy Accardo comes in and gives up a solo home run with 2 outs. Aaron Hill gets a high fastball, knocks it out of the park. Blue Jays lead it 5-3. New Equus from Hyundai, redefining luxury.
Aaron Hill hit 26 home runs last year. This is number 2 for 2011. It's a big one. Drops it right over the wall in left field for a big insurance run as the Jays take a 2-run lead on the home run by Aaron Hill.
So Hill comes through and pads the lead by a run. It's a 5-3 ball game now. The third Blue Jay pitcher of the night is Mark Zebchinski. He'll come in to start the 8th inning.
The left-hander has had his troubles the last couple of times out. His number is still very good. He's worked in 30 games this year, an ERA of 3. 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He had a game where he came in, faced 3 batters, walked all 3 of them. Last time out was a few days ago against Boston. A no decision, 1 inning, a hit, a couple of strikeouts.
Vladimir Guerrero reaches for that outside pitch and pokes it into the seats. It's a ball on the strike. Mark Zebchinski had that 3-walk outing Monday in Kansas City. On that last trip to Kansas City, Baltimore, Kansas City came into the game in the inning and just couldn't find the strike zone. 7th inning with a couple outs.
And that really hasn't been a problem for him this year. He has thrown quality strikes.
The only other time he had control issues was in Seattle early in the season. But this is a tough customer for the Blue Jays. Since 2009, Vladdy Guerrero's at .455. And he's always been a guy that there's no pattern to pitch him, no way to get him out. You throw it from his top of his helmet to the top of his shoes, and it's in play.
He's going to be swinging, and he makes contact also.
Well, that's not what Mark Zebchinski planned to do. Leadoff walk here in the 8th. It's a 2-run ball game. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Let's check in quickly with Jamie Campbell. Their arms are tired
from swinging. Their legs are tired from running around the bases.
They scored 35 runs in 3 games. Shields has been great all year long.
Yeah.
He has really pitched well. Boy, he had a bounce back season. Tampa Bay is not going to go too far away with the strength of their pitching. That just improves them to 15-16 at home this year. That's a surprising number. 2-0.
This is not what John Farrell was looking for when you come out of the bullpen with a 2-run lead. You walk a free-swinging Vladimir Guerrero, and now you fall behind a guy who's got power. 5 home runs, 28 driven in.
Fouls it straight back. It's 2-1. Leadoff walk, and Zebchinski falls behind. Now Casey Janssen is standing by. Looks like he's ready down in the bullpen.
Well, the one thing that Mark Zebchinski has is he's got great movement on his pitches. He can get a double play with one pitch. When he turns his fastball over, it goes away from those right-handed batters, and he gets lots of ground ball outs.
High fly ball left field. Corey Patterson turns, and he'll watch it sail into the seats. 2-run home run for Matt Wieters. And just like that, the Orioles have tied it up here in the 8th. For Wieters, that's his 4th home run against left-handed pitching.
And his 6th of the season, RBIs 29 and 30. And we are all tied. You walk the leadoff hitter, you fall behind a guy who can knock it out of the ballpark, and Wieters does just that. High leg kick, it's a high fly ball. Reaches the second deck.
Matt Wieters smiling in that dugout. Home run number 6 has tied it up. Mark Zebchinski doesn't retire a batter or walk in a 2-run home run. Now Casey Janssen runs out of the Blue Jays bullpen to come in here and see if he can't get out of this inning. Matt Wieters, his 2-run shot has made it a 5-5 game. Casey Janssen misses with the first pitch down and away to Derek Lee. Orioles have tied it here in the 8th, 5-5. He is late on a fastball, 1-1.
Here are the numbers for Janssen. He's been in 27 games, 21 of them scoreless. Been tough on the righties all season long. And he's got a big one up there in Derek Lee. He's got a home run power himself.
It's jammed on that good sinking fastball inside. Jansen's ahead 1-2. Casey Jansen has been the most consistent pitcher all year long for the Blue Jays. His ability to come in and throw strikes has really served him well.
And you know what made him have that ability to throw strikes and made him a strikeout pitcher. His ability to throw it to the inside or the outside part of the plate and keep it down.
Another good pitch ties up Derek Lee.
He is good when he is in an aggressive mode.
Mark Zebchinski looks puzzled on the bench as he gives up the leadoff walk to Vladimir Guerrero, and that's tough to do. And then the 2-run home run off the bat of Matt Wieters. Breaking ball, long drive to left field. Derek Lee. Foul ball. Got out in front of it just a bit and pulled it foul.
He's got power, and J.P. Arencibia right out to talk to his pitcher. Curveball on the inner half. Didn't pull it down enough, and that is how close Derek Lee came from hitting a home run.
He might have broke his bat and getting a new bat.
Sounded like it. Casey Jansen has not given up a home run all season long.
Just a long, loud strike. So Derek Lee has some new lumber. This is his first at bat against Casey Jansen. Now throwing that breaking ball off the plate.
Yep. Pull down, stay on top, pull down, finish it.
Went after the fastball, and he strikes out. Boy, another well-placed fastball down and away. Derek Lee strikes out, first out of the 8th.
Cutting that ball a little bit better this year. Good movement there as Lee cannot hold up on it. Another strikeout. Casey Jansen. Okay, now look at the defense that they are going to throw out there against Luke Scott.
Not the dramatic shift. Scott has bunted with that dramatic shift and reached base twice with 2 bunt singles. Now they're going to play it straight away. Slightly to pull, but not the dramatic shift with the 3 defenders on the first base side of second.
And the shortstop right up the middle, leaving that whole left side of the infield wide open.
Right back over Jansen's head into center. Luke Scott has a 3-hit night.
Guess the cortisone shot helped his shoulder.
Looks like it's working.
He's got a nice short swing, does Luke Scott. Keeps the bat on his shoulder, not a lot of extra movement, good low ball hitter, and he rifles it right back through the middle. Uses his hands nicely.
Well, Scott's night is done. He finishes up 3 for 4 with the runs scored. He'll give way to the pinch runner Felix Piet. Both teams now have 5 runs on 10 hits. PA is not a great base stealer. Just 0 for 2.
He has speed, but he doesn't have the technique of stealing bases down.
Yeah, he runs well, but he is not a very good instinctual base runner. He doesn't get the kind of jumps that makes you think he is looking to steal. Orioles with 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th have tied it at 5-all. J.J. Hardy had a great at bat in the 7th off Jason Frazier, hit an RBI double over Bautista's head and right. And then Mark Zebchinski came on to start the 8th, walked Pereiro and gave up a 2-run home run. There's a ball thrown down the right field line. PA headed for second. He's going to make the turn. He's headed for third. Hill's throw is late. Well, we mentioned PA's not a base stealing threat at all. But Jansen throws one over Lynn's head at first. And PA goes to third.
And not a huge lead over at first either. Field's going to have to come in. Jansen's got a quick move. Throws it away. You can see it's not a very big lead by PA. Just kind of falls down to the bag. But once it gets by Lynn, PA with good speed will make it easily in the third base. Now the infield has to come in and cut that run at the plate all the way in.
Changes everything defensively. 1 out, Mark Reynolds. Jumps back from an inside fastball. Go from a double play situation now to a sacrifice fly situation.
Second time tonight. Second time in the last 2 innings that has happened to the defense. A wild pitch moved a couple of runners up last inning to stay out of the double play.
Reynolds is much better down than up. And Jansen elevated that last fastball.
Swung right through it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. Reynolds strikes out. He's prone to do that. That's a big strikeout for Casey Jansen with the go-ahead run just 90 feet away.
You're sitting at home, you're saying, how can you not hit this pitch that ends up right down the middle? Can't pull the trigger. That's because it looked like he was looking for something off speed and crossed him up and threw him right there for him.
2 outs. Infield will back up now with 2 down. Robert Andino, the second baseman, had a sac fly. RBI in the 7th. First pitch breaking ball. Jansen's ahead 0-2. Orioles have scored 2 here in the 8th. They've tied it at 5-all. Casey Jansen has struck out 2. Go-ahead run at third base. Going to talk things over.
Better get on the same page right here. 0-2, 2 outs. Go-ahead run at third.
That's where you really got to be careful if you're JP Arancibia. You know Casey Jansen wants to finish off this pitch. If you call for a breaking ball, you really got to be thinking it's going to be in the dirt.
Yeah, anticipate that ball is going to be in the dirt.
0-2, 2 outs. High fastball. They beat Andino with the heater. You can make all the right moves and put people in the right positions to get outs, and then the leadoff walk and a home run. Everything blows up in your face. Another 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball blocked by Arancibia, and the strikeout is called. Andino went too far. So Casey Jansen gives up a base hit, but he strikes out this side. The Orioles have tied it. Middle of the 8th. It's 5-5. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie and Greg, live from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio at Rogers Center. their bullpen, and this guy's been their most effective reliever lately.
Certainly has 6'5", 230 pounds. He has lowered his ERA from 5.14 to 2.68 in his last 17 appearances. He comes in and he throws strikes. Look at that. 5 walks, 27 strikeouts. He'll sink the fastball, throws a little bit of a slider. He'll come right after you. His stuff is very good. They had thought about making him a closer at one time, but he's very effective in the 8th inning. Felix Piet takes over in left field. He came in the pinch run for Luke Scott last inning. Stays in the game in left field.
Johnson will deal with the top of the order. Escobar, Patterson, and Bautista here in the 8th. Jim Johnson, over his last 17 appearances, allowed just 3 earned runs. That's a tough one to bunt. Up and in fastball.
Trying to get it down. You lean out over the plate like Escobar does, and here it comes. Knocks you back. Johnson's got excellent control.
Broken bat, hopper, glove by Andino. High throw to first, safe. Andino made a good play with the glove and then made a high throw. Derek Lee couldn't get back on the bag before Escobar reached.
It'll be an infield single for Escobar. He has been on base 4 times now. Andino, acrobatic play to get to the ball. And he needed a half a step to come down on the bag. As you can see clearly from that replay, that Derek Lee tags Escobar while he is on the bag.
Boy, that is a tough call for Jerry Lane at first. Everything came together at the same time. Patterson pops the bunt in the air and bounce off the warning track. Well, Blue Jays have the go-ahead run at first. Boy, it's been back and forth all night long. Orioles took a early 1-0 lead. Blue Jays tied it in the bottom of the first. The Jays went up 2-1 in the third with 4-1 in the fourth, and then the Orioles stormed back with 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. Corey Patterson already has a bunt base hit tonight. Came in the 3rd inning. Squares and takes the ball.
If you sacrifice, you got to have it in the back of your mind that you're taking the bat out of Jose Bautista's hand. If that's how you're going to play it, and that looks like the way the Blue Jays are going to play it. If he is successful and gets the bunt down, Bautista's hitting with first base open. And they've already walked him 1 time tonight, intentionally, when first base was open.
Running off home plate. Johnson looks at second. Escobar is out. He slowed down before he got the second. He anticipated that there was not going to be a throw, and Johnson made a good, strong, quick throw. Escobar cost them a sacrifice by not sliding and not hustling.
Yeah, and you can't anticipate or assume anything in this game. He gets down there and assumes that the throw is going to go to first base, but Johnson aggressively comes off that mound and fires a strike to second. He slows down and doesn't even slide. You can't assume that he's going to throw that ball to first base.
Bautista goes after the first pitch and bounces it foul. Boy, that's a bad play. You've got to slide hard into second, and Escobar just pulled up, assuming the ball was going to go to first. Jose Bautista with 1 out. Bautista's been on base all 4 times. Johnson's pretty good at keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's only allowed 3 home runs. I don't think this is a situation where Patterson's going to steal. I think they want Bautista to hit.
What a pick. by Wieters. I think you're right. They were willing to sacrifice that runner to second base and let him hit. But now when that failed, you got to stay there and let him swing away.
Ball on the strike. Down and away. 2-1. Yeah, if you sacrifice Escobar to second, you got a base open, then you've got the go-ahead run at second. But now to try to steal, and I just don't think you take the bat out of Bautista's hand.
Yeah. If he gets thrown out, now you have nothing.
Hit the umpire. Bob Davidson couldn't get out of the way. That'll be a base hit. How about that? Boy, if it's going to go bad for the Blue Jays in this inning, Davidson couldn't get out of the way. That ball was hit so hard.
You know, the only bad thing about that is Patterson might have had a chance to go first to third on that hit. The outfield's playing deep with Bautista at the plate. He's got good speed at first base. This ball is hit hard, but right at the umpire.
So when the umpire's in front of the infielders, that is a dead ball. The batter gets a base hit.
Everybody moves
up one base. But you're right. If that ball goes through, no telling where Patterson ends up. So Bautista gets a base hit. A little bit of everything this inning. One out. Adam Lynn. Big slow breaking ball. He takes for a strike. Lynn's had success against Johnson. He's 3 for 8 against the Orioles right-hander. Orioles outfielders throw well. Felix Pierre came on as a pinch runner. He's got a strong arm in left. Adam Jones in center, always among the leaders from center field. He has 7 outfield assists from center. That's tied for the most from center field. And Nick Markakis always up there among the top. He has 5 this year. And Patterson is well aware of the arms in the outfield. He played in Baltimore last year.
Knows all about him. He's got to get a good secondary lead at second base and read the ball off the bat here.
2-1 to Lynn. Off the end of the bat. Center fielders generally don't throw well. They're not among the league leaders in assists. It's a hard position to throw from. You're always dealing with the mound. And Adam Jones and Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates both have 7 assists from center field. That leads the majors.
Generally, you're looking for those speed guys. But Jones is big and strong. 95 miles an hour, trying to slip it by him on the inner half.
3-2, 1 out. Aaron Sebia on deck. JP had a double his last time up. Corey Patterson at second. Bautista at first. Not running. He walked him. Took a close pitch inside. The bases are loaded.
Racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Blue Jays rally here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They gave up the lead in the top of the 8th. Matt Wieters hit a 2-run home run. Now J.P. Arencibia with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Breaking ball. Reynolds comes home. Back to first. Not in time. Arencibia beats out the return throw. Reynolds gets the lead run at the plate. We're still tied.
That's what you're taught as a third baseman. Ball tapped. You have to charge. You come home. If it's hit firmly to your left, you'll go around the diamond. But it just wasn't hit hard enough to go home to first for a double play. And a big spot here with 2 outs now for Edwin Encarnacion.
Encarnacion, big cut and the miss. Johnson's got a big arm. That last pitch, 96 miles an hour.
With good movement on it, too. He's tough.
Oh, and 2. Bases are loaded. Bautista at third, Lind at second, Aaron Sebia at first, Encarnacion in a hole, 0-2. Buck Showalter turned things over to Jim Johnson here in the 8th. Encarnacion drives it to right. Markakis has a beat on it. The Blue Jays will strand the bases loaded. We'll go to the 9th, tied at 5-all. Now let's send it back to the connected studio with Ryan Leslie. To you by Rogers. Hello, Speed Boost. Goodbye, waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
Matt Wieters steps to the plate in a 2-run game, down by 2 after a leadoff walk. This is home run number 6 for Matt Wieters. 2 more RBIs. That gives him 30 on the year, ties the game. And that is where we sit as the Orioles come to bat in the 9th inning.
Matt Wieters delivered a big clutch 2-run home run after a leadoff walk to Vladimir Guerrero. Wieters now has 30 RBI on the season. John Roush will come out of the bullpen. Casey Jansen did a great job in the 8th inning, striking out the side. Gave up a single, but nothing more.
Struck out 2 batters with a runner at third base and 1 out. His error brought that runner after he gave up a hit all the way to third, but he buckled down, got a couple of strikeouts, and we sit here in the 9th tie.
J.J. Hardy's had a night. He singled, doubled, struck out, and doubled to right and drove in a run. Finally pops it straight back over the screen. John Roush delivers the breaking ball down and away. The ball in 2 strikes. Hardy's just 28 years old. Came up to the Brewers in 2005. Out in front of that slow breaking ball.
Missed a month this year with an oblique injury. Got his timing back, and now since coming off the DL, he's been just raking.
Chases that high fastball. First out of the 9th.
He won't get cheated when he's at the plate. Even with 2 strikes, he's going to go up there thinking swing hard. Couple of empty that time.
Nick Markakis singled his first time up, and it's gone 0 for 2 with a walk after that. First pitch strike. Now it's a battle of the bullpens. Markakis rifles it down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Patterson couldn't cut it off. It goes all the way to the wall. Markakis will stop at second. Corey Patterson tried to grab it, see if he could keep Markakis at first base, but it went past him up against the wall. Markakis gets a double, just his 6th double of the season.
This is a player who has averaged about 45 doubles in his big league career. Slashes the ball down the left field line. Patterson reads it, hustles over this. Ball is cutting away from it, and he just can't come up with it. That would have been a single if he could have cut it off. Markakis with his 6th double.
Patterson knew what he wanted to do. He tried to get to that ball quickly and cut it off, but it continued to hook away from him. Adam Jones with 1 out. Markakis at second. Goes after the first pitch. Oh, and 1 out. 5-5 game in the 9th. Blue Jays have plenty of opportunities to bust this game wide open. They have gone 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight.
13 runners left on base through 8 innings.
Another high fastball, and Jones is late on. Good curveball. What a job by Roush. Got Jones to swing and miss the big slow hook. 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Put fastball in his mind early in the count. Throwing a couple of heaters and then the slow breaking ball. Has his timing messed up. Job by Aaron Sebia to block that one, keep him in front of him. Keep that runner at second base.
Vladimir Guerrero took the leadoff walk in the 8th, scored ahead of Wieters' home run. These two have faced each other quite a bit when you consider Roush is a 1-inning guy. Guerrero 2 for 6 versus the Blue Jays right-hander.
Got to figure at some point they might have been teammates in the Montreal system at some point. He is a dangerous hitter wherever you throw it. Just 250 with runners in scoring position, but he's been here many times in his career.
Pops this one up. Should be playable. Aaron Sebia rips the mask off and retires Guerrero. Roush gives up the double and strands it. It's 5-5. Aaron Hill, Rajay Davis, and Jason Nix. Bottom of the 9th. With Jose Bautista, topped the American League in home runs with 21. Ninth inning in a 5-5 game. Bautista has been on base all 5 times he's come to the plate. Aaron Hill had a home run his last time up. Drives this ball to right field. Markakis over, and that is a foul ball just outside of his outstretched glove on the dive.
That looked like Aaron Hill's first at bat tonight when he doubled down the line right off the glove of Nick Markakis. A little bit late on a fastball. Markakis takes one quick look to see where that wall is, and it just goes foul a couple of feet.
Aaron Hill is a triple shy of the cycle. He homered in his last at bat off Jeremy Accardo. Popped this one back out of play. The Blue Jays have had 3 walk-off wins. Escobar, John McDonnell, and Corey Patterson.
They have also won 7 games in their final at bat this year. Good time to do it right here.
Line right to Andino. First out of the bottom of the ninth. The next Blackberry Tweeting Tuesday will take place June 28th when the Blue Jays take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The game will start at 7:07 p.m. Interact with the Blue Jays and the Sportsnet broadcast team during the game. There are great prizes to be won: first pitch, autographed merchandise, and T-shirts. For more information, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Interleague play again will start on Friday. Blue Jays will be in Cincinnati for a 3-game series. Rajay Davis right to the shortstop. 2 outs. Jim Johnson pitched out of a bases-loaded situation to end the 8th. Then Edwin Encarnacion to fly out to right. Blue Jays had a golden opportunity. Escobar reached on an infield hit and then was forced out at second when he didn't slide on a sacrifice bunt attempt by Corey Patterson. Jim Johnson made a quick throw to second, and Escobar pulled up before he got to the bag.
They also had a base hit by Bautista hit the umpire last inning. A walk to Lynn. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs. They couldn't get that run in.
J.P. Arancida hit the first pitch to the third baseman, Mark Reynolds, who came home for the force out at the plate. Boy, Johnson's got a good arm. Hard 2-seam fastball, good breaking ball, and a very good cutter. And come back 2-seamer.
Good command on the outer half. They were thinking about making him a closer at one point because his stuff is so good. They went out and got Mike Gonzalez then last year. Kevin Gregg this year. And he's in the more familiar 8th inning role now.
Strike 3 called. Boy, 3 good fastballs down and away, and Nix is struck out here in the 9th. Jim Johnson has a 1-2-3 9th. We'll go to extra innings. We're tied at 5. Sportsnet Pacific MLB Baseball. The Angels at the Seattle Mariners. Jared Weaver against Doug Fister in that ball game. Brendan Wells with 2 home runs last night, and following the game as well. It'll be connected on Sportsnet East, Ontario, and West. We are in the 10th inning. Matt Wieters with the tying 2-run home run that came off Mark Zepchinski in the 8th. The last runs that have scored in this game.
Wieters from the left side, not as powerful than the right side. Average a little bit different.
321 against left-handed pitching, 261 against right-handers coming into this game tonight. Trying to stay down and away. It's 3-1. John Roush does a good job of elevating that fastball. It's 89, 90. Not a super heater, but boy, with all of his off-speed pitches, when he elevates, it's pretty effective.
Yeah, it looks like it's 94, 95. And then he can pull the string if he needs to.
Wieters drives it to center. Davis is there, first out. The Orioles are 3-5 in extra inning games. The Blue Jays are 6-2.
5-0 at home in extra innings.
Derek Lee has taken the collar tonight. He's 0 for 4. Lee spent his entire big league career in the National League prior to this season. Former #1 pick of the San Diego Padres way back in 1993.
Now 35 years old. He had some big years over in the National League. Had a big year with the Cubs a couple of years ago. 35 home runs, 111 driven in. How about his second season with the Cubs?
2005, he hit 46 home runs and drove in 107. Started out in San Diego, then was traded to the Florida Marlins for Kevin Brown. He was part of maybe the best defensive infield we have seen for a long time. He was the first baseman. Luis Castillo was at second. Alex Gonzalez at short, and Mike Lowell was the third baseman.
Catcher was pretty good too.
Pudge, yeah, he wasn't bad. 3-2, 1 out. Lee takes the walk.
That was the year the Marlins won it all, 2003.
Bruce Walton on the phone to the bullpen. Now, this bullpen was really taxed over the weekend. Starters didn't pitch late in the game. They had to get a lot of innings out of the bullpen. But the only guy that pitched in back-to-back games over the weekend against the Red Sox was Frank Francisco. Plus, they had an off day.
12 1/3 innings over the weekend. The bullpen had to come up with.
Derek Lee doesn't run a lot. He's just 2 for 2. Phoenix, PA is first at bat of the night. Looks at a pitch down and in. Sean Camp starts to loosen up. John Roush in his second inning of work. Gave up a 1-out double in the ninth, but then struck out Adam Jones and got Vladdy Guerrero to pop up. 2-0. John Farrell looking at the options. Orioles don't have an awful lot of options on their bench. They've used their only left-handed batter as a pinch runner. Felix Pa is now at the plate.
You got Ryan Adams, a rookie, Ryan Holt, a right-handed hitter, and a backup catcher, Tatum.
Felix Pa out in front, but that'll be foul down the right field line.
PA showing some juice in his bat. He has not homered yet this year. He hasn't drawn a walk this year. He goes up there hacking.
Yeah, he has never been one to take an awful lot of walks. This guy that has dealt with some injuries over the last couple of years, hasn't really been able to stay healthy.
He was a huge prospect for the Chicago Cubs when he was in the minor leagues. There was a guy blocking his path to the big leagues, though. He's playing left field for the Blue Jays. Corey Patterson was over there. Once Patterson left, PA got the job and then came over to the Orioles.
There's a base hit into right. Lee had to wait for the ball to go past. Bautista's got the strong arm, and Lee stops at second. So PA delivers his first at bat, gets a base hit.
He's got some talent. PA pulls the ball 3-1, sitting on a fastball, pulls it by him, and you're right. You see Derek Lee having to wait for that ball to go by him. So he cannot move up to third base. Plays at one base at a time.
Mark Reynolds, 1 for 3. That base hit was a single to left. He's faced John Roush 3 times. He has 3 hits, including a home run. 5-5 game here in the 10th. Pitch outside. Good pitch, ball and a strike. Interesting game tonight. We are in the 10th inning. There has not been a double play turned in this ball game.
All the base runners and everything that we have seen tonight.
And the numbers we had mentioned, Roush and Reynolds in their head-to-head matchup.
Another thing that we haven't seen from the Orioles, at least, is a hit with runners in scoring position.
Orioles are 0 for 7. There's only been 1 hit tonight with runners in scoring position. And we're tied at 5-all. Blue Jays are 1 for 13. Strike 3 call. What a job by Roush. Boy, he mixed it up through the entire kitchen sink at Mark Reynolds and gets a big strikeout.
Yeah, got ahead with a fastball and then stayed away from him. Reynolds gives up on this last pitch. It looked like a breaking ball right on the outer half. Plenty of the plate. Roush picks up his 3rd strikeout in 2 innings.
Robert Andino 0 for 3. Drove in a run in the 7th with a sac fly. a strike. Two and one to the number 9 hitter, Robert Andino. Derek Lee's at second. Felix Piet's at first. There are 2 down. John Roush in his second inning of work. We're in the 10th. Orioles scored 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. Andino, a little pop-up into center field. Davis is there, and the Orioles strand 2 more. They can't come up with a big hit. They're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Bottom of the 10th, 5-0. But many don't. The summer hit is back. Who will be discovered on this season's America's Got Talent? New episodes every Tuesday and Wednesday on City TV. We're in a tie game here at Rogers Center. It has been back and forth all night long. The bullpens now are on the hook. New pitcher for the Orioles will be Koji Uehara after Jim Johnson pitched 2 strong innings, including a 1-2-3 night. Uehara comes out to work the 10th.
Now 36 years old, Uehara has had a lot of leg injuries in his career. He has been in the bullpen since coming over from the Yomiuri Giants. This is his 3rd season for the Baltimore Orioles. There are his numbers up and down. He'll be around the plate. Just be ready to swing the bat as Escobar a little bit late getting up to the plate. Uehara, the bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles has been hot. You look at their numbers, they rank 11th in earned run average in the American League. But they've had some pitchers on good hot streaks, and this is one of them right here, Uehara.
All right, Patterson is on deck. Uehara was in the middle game of the 3-game series in Baltimore. He's not overpowering, but much like John Roush, he does a good job of locating his pitches.
Just move the ball around, take a little off, put a little on. He's allowed just 2 earned runs in his last 17 innings pitched.
Bautista is the 3rd hitter. Schedule this inning. There's a pop-up on the infield. Robert Andino, the 2nd baseman. 1 out. They mentioned walk-off home runs. May 28th, Corey Patterson against Gavin Floyd in extra innings. Floyd coming out of the bullpen on his throw day. Patterson capped capped off a big 5-hit day with a walk-off home run. Part of a stretch where Corey went 9 for 12.
5 hits that day for Patterson.
He's in a hole 0-2.
What you don't want to do in these situations, everybody wants to end the game with one swing, and you're thinking about the home run and your swing gets a little bit long. Think about hitting it hard. Hit it hard or get some base runners on.
And drive something to the gap and put Bautista in an RBI situation, and if they choose not to pitch to him, you've got Lynn behind him.
Take my chances with him.
Strike 3 called. Another good pitch right at the knees, an 0-2 fastball.
Threw him nothing but fastballs. Here's another one right at the knees and on the outside corner. Uehara picks up his strikeout.
Splitter on the outside corner. Uehara is painting the black with all of his pitches. Bautista singled off the umpire in the 8th. He's been on base 5 times tonight. Out in front of this pitch and pulls it into the seats.
That one just 83 miles an hour.
The league's hit just 168 against Koji Uehara. I mean, he's not overpowering, but boy, he mixes his pitches very effectively. High fastball, and Uehara has a very quick 1-2-3 10th inning. Couple of strikeouts, including Bautista on a high fastball. Quick. That's a concern, but boy, what a year he's having. On line for his 9th win, and we are tied at 5-all here as we go to the 11th. Another new pitcher for the Blue Jays.
Sean Camp will be pitcher number 6 tonight for the Jays. He is now 2nd on the club in 29 games this year. Earned run average has climbed a little bit over his last few outings. It's been touched up a little bit. It's allowed an earned run in 4 of his last 5 games. Did not give up an earned run his last time out. That was a couple of days ago against Boston.
First pitch strike to J.J. Hardy.
Threw an inning and 2/3 that day.
Well, Greg Zahn touched on it in an update when he said the starters' inability to pitch deep in a game regularly have really taxed the bullpen, and I think he's right on the money. Breaking ball lifted into center field. Davis in a hurry makes a sliding catch. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. That was off the end of the bat, and Davis is blessed with great speed. He recovers in time to record the first out of the inning.
He read that ball was off the bat because it was a breaking ball from Sean Camp, and he got a good break on it. Comes in quickly and just takes it right off the turf for the inning's first out. Look at right before he gets to the turf.
Nick Markakis. Markakis has a couple of hits tonight, including a double in the ninth.
He was left stranded there. John Roush struck out Adam Jones and then got Guerrero to pop up.
Boy, that good two-seamer is in a good spot, down and away. Ball on a strike. That might have been the most important stretch of at-bats in the whole game. John Roush in the ninth, Adam Jones and Guerrero. Struck out Jones and got Vladdy to pop up.
Two hot hitters and good RBI men, too.
Markakis has his third hit of the night. Comes with one out here in the 11th. Camp had handled him very well until that base hit. He was just 1 for 8, but comes up with a big hit here in extra innings. So Adams Jones has been held hitless. He had a sac fly in the first inning. That was the first run of the ball game, and then he's gone 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
His last 37 games, he has swinged multiple hits in 16 of those 37 games, hitting close to 350.
Camp does a good job of pitching ahead, boy. When he pitches ahead, he really forces the hitters to expand the strike zone.
And you can, especially against right-handers. You can drop that sweeping breaking ball that he has. No more change-ups this year.
Right back to Camp. Second to Hill for one. Back to first. Double play. Boy, Aaron Hill did a good job staying with that low throw from Camp. He took his time. He didn't panic. Made a strong throw to first base. So Markakis comes up with a one-out hit. Hill takes the low throw and converts it into the first double play of the night. Edition Game 7 pregame show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Sportsnet East, Ontario West, and Pacific. Then after the game, the post-game show, reaction and analysis following Game 7 on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. One game for all the marbles, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. A perfect night for baseball under the CN Tower here at Rogers Center. Bottom of the 11th, a 5-5 game. Koji Uehara in his second inning of work. Had a 1-2-3 10th inning with 2 strikeouts. Get out of here. High, deep, and far. Game winner, Adam Lind. Walk-off home run in the 11th. Home run number 12. The Blue Jays a perfect 6-0 at home. Extra inning win, another walk-off home run, 3rd home run, 4th walk-off home run of the season.
And it was a no doubt about it. Uehara looked so good in the 11th inning, 2 strikeouts, and it took 2 pitches, and Adam Lind ends it. The only question was it going to stay fair? Those balls from left-handers down the right field line have a tendency to hook. But this one stayed true. Plenty of distance, and he knows it. Right there, watch where this one hits. Bam. Game winner.
Blue Jays stay a perfect 6-0 in extra innings at home. Adam Lind with his 12th home run of the season, a walk-off home run, wins the first game of this series. The Blue Jays will play tomorrow night here at Rogers Center. Ricky Romero against Jake Arrieta. Thanks for watching.